my arms. Oh, hopefully. Oh, that's a little loud. My thing is a tiny bit loud. Is it? No, maybe it's not. It's fine. I was looking at my microphone stuff. It looks a little off. I don't know. Hopefully we're okay. But who really knows? Do some of this video. Boom. Then click that. Good. What is good, Fluff? It's been a millennium, Fluff. My PC case I was not prepared for. It is huge, at least compared to what I am used to. Red sent me another version of what is essentially considered to be a big PC case, and it just looks comical. It's just like the size of I can't even put it into perspective, but it's massive. It's even this one, it's already this big. I can't show you because there's not enough in the frame, but yes. Also, dude, Dragon's Dogma looking absolutely clean. Also, I'm so upset that last time our stream got cut short because of the fucking Black Friday internet nightmare hell sale things throttled everyone's internet. Everyone in my whole town was experiencing blackout things, which is shitty. But hopefully it's stabilized. Also, what's good, Ray? Ray says, hello, everyone. What's good, Ray? How are you? Oh my god, I feel like I can already smell dust over here. Ooh. Also, I've yet to see that thing you sent me, Fluff, that Dark Tide thing. Also, it's what do you call it? It's good that you're getting more hours. I'm a little bit sad that Fridays are a little more spacey now, but I'm happy you're getting more work, Fluff. But I was gonna say I haven't checked out that Dark Tide thing you sent me. It looks pretty sick. If that's is it a playable character? That's what I just got from looking through my DMs because I forgot to do that this week, so I went and quickly checked. And yeah, but I'm a little worried, man. You know how I went through the effort to get my Asus NVIDIA 470 essentially, this my graphics card, through Newegg, which said it was going to be here faster, it was going to be here within a week or two, opposed to 3 months, or didn't even give me a tracking number. It says that it hasn't shipped yet. So I'm kind of well, what the fuck? What is that? So I hope, man, it gets here. That's really disappointing, though. Sometimes when you're you're only missing one thing to be able to embark on, piecing together your PC, But, dude, Dragon's Dogma looks awesome. I will say I am almost crushed. Super depressed, sad that it looks like there is no summoner. It's instead maybe summoner adjacent if you're really being generous, but it's more an illusionist essentially. Everyone was speculating that there was going to be a summoner because it's a fucking sick ass subclass. Anyways, but also because there was this lantern looking thing, almost an incense ball, bleeding out smoke. So people thought, oh, that looks kind of a a necromancer's soul staff, where it's sucking in the essence and it breathes out smoke. That makes so much sense. Summoner, let's go, baby. Also, there's so many little tiny enemies on screen doing shit. Why is it out of the question that you could summon skeletons or goblins or something, right? But no, instead you can summon forth illusionary mist, which maybe there's a subtree in Dragon's Dogma where you can summon mist entities, but even it doesn't seem like it's the case. It seems no, it's not. But instead, everyone's favorite thing that everybody plays, an illusion class that's all about supporting your allies and making decoys that don't attack. It's crazy. It's here's just we're creating 2 new classes, but they're by far the most ones that just, to me, I feel always go underused. Even if they're cool, most people are yeah, I'm not sure if I want to fuck with smoke and make sure support my team, which are sometimes I don't know anyone who supports the AI unless they're summons. You can literally summon forth dumb skeletons and just say, just blitzkrieg that enemy. By all means, take damage, but just keep hitting. At least then you can have confidence in summoning a creature. But then if you have this crazy nonsense thing where you're oh, I'm gonna heal you, and then your AI is just sitting there stuck for 20 minutes, and you're supposed to be supporting that, so you're healing the thing that refuses to attack. It's awful. It's awful. I haven't seen a lot of games that make oh, I can play like a support class in an RPG and make it so that like I give my companion some sort of like power up that increases their movement speed, that increases their aggression like a lot, and like just gives them much more attack speed. Things like that where it's like, okay, I can juice you up so much to where even if it takes you kind of like 15 seconds of fumbling, when you do arrive, you blitzkrieg someone, you know? I still love the Overlord method of just go in a straight line, go, go. Okay, let me reposition, go, go. And then they just completely like fight to get to where you're trying to point, essentially. And even then it was still kind of clunky, but it's because they gave you like 15 summons, so it worked. Yeah, figured that full size was going to be huge. Yeah, I'll probably show you guys the case at some point, because I would like to give you guys an idea of like what the fuck is going on. Fluff says, yeah, thankfully my shift will be off load nights, so it'll be easier for me to handle. That's good. That's really good, at least. And I can start adjusting my start/end times for 30 minutes. 30 minutes later to make it easier for me to get. Yeah, I was about to say, Fluff. Is the goal for you to ramp up to getting like basically going full time almost, like, or whatever the equivalent would be? I wonder how that works in like night shift stuff. I feel like if you could lock in a night shift person and have them working like every single day, that'd be like a pretty big tax. Yeah, that'd be a rough thing. Like I always feel like it'd be better for them to go 1 week on, 1 week off, if you were gonna do something like that. I don't know. Ooh, that's why it's messing up. Let's see, why can't I have more? Raid says, oh yeah, one of the new exotics in new Destiny 2 season is a hand crossbow. And I thought you would enjoy. Oh, no, shit. I'm getting flashbanged. Is it bad if I turn that off? How bad? Let's see. It might be real dark. I gotta get a new light. More. That's about as much as we can go. Is it okay? Oh, it's so worse. It's so much worse. It's still brighter than God. We might just have to stick with that. God, the lighting in this is a fucking nightmare. When I come like this, it's just impossibly bright, and then I have to pull back, and it kind of starts balancing out. Shit. Well, that light's toast. Anyways, it's a darker vibe, I guess. I see. Maybe we should increase these ones, so it's a little bit more lighting. I don't know. Anyways, it's a nightmare. Oh, but what do you call it? Man, Raid, my favorite thing. Do you remember in Destiny 1, Raid, where they had the Dreg's Promise? I can't believe I just pulled that out of my mind right now. Also, what's good, Legendary? Hello, Legendary. Hope you're having a lovely day. But do you remember the Dreg's Promise, which was like this badass handgun that isn't always okay. It was a really cool Wolf? No, the Fallen. It was like the Fallen's hand cannon that the Dregs always use against you, and it had like heat seeking, but it was fucking awful. I remember I loved the look of it, and the cool reload had like one of the cool, again, Destiny in every single looter shooter game, it drives me fucking mental that they always give like these items that are not scaled well. They're not like they're not tuned up a little bit. Same thing happened in Genshin, where like the characters that have the least going on, they're like, fuck it, let's give them more damage. Boom, and they get a damage up. And then if characters that have like the coolest animations, the coolest reload weapon, all that stuff, it's garbage. Like you're never gonna use it. It's almost like in their twisted brain, they're like, hey, we didn't really give this one enough love in terms of its animations, its stylization. Let me just dump a bunch of damage scaling on it, which makes everyone use it. And then they're like, oh wow, we added so many like cool flurries to this thing. It's gonna be default if we don't do something. Let's nuke it a little bit. Let's nuke the power down. And I'm like, why? Anyway. Also, and I thought you would enjoy the I do appreciate that. Do you tell me about it? Yeah, man. What do you call it? A crossbow? I wonder how that plays. I was so hopeful, Raid, for bows in Destiny, but man, every company doesn't like. I shouldn't say every company. I really. Okay, let me stop being so fucking acidic. I would really love for a company to do something like I talked about this a while ago in Mind Palace of Madness when you're doing a mod review of this like awesome bow mod. But instead, like every looter shooter, this is one of the things that like Borderlands 1 did really, really well. I think Diablo 2 and maybe even Diablo 3, the newest one, does this really well too. But they know how to scale something in terms of it being useful to you. So in Borderlands, there was a weapon called the Anarchy. And it was an SMG that fired 4 bullets, or fired 2 bullets, but there was a prefix that you could get basically times 4. So you could get this freak show of a gun that was shot like just a ton, like a face full of bullets, and it was a fast firing SMG. It would nuke your magazine, so the 2 things you would look for is a high magazine mod and the multiplier element part. And it made it super, super valuable. Destiny and a lot of these looter shooter games nowadays, I feel like none of them have that. They have none of the thing that like scale is like the thing that you're after. We kind of talked about this last time with the whole looter shooter genre, but like a lot of them just seem like it's this, like Destiny's the best example of it's the same gun with the slightest change that you don't care about, like draw speed increase. And it's only 0.1% faster draw speed. And you're like, what the fuck is that? You know, it's not like, oh, the longer you hold down the bolt, the more damage it deals. Only applies in PvE. Something like that. It's not like if you hold down the reload button, you cock 2 more arrows, and you can fire a 3-shot now. And you can burn through your ammunition that way. Things like that. Now, the last 2 were more like effect-based, like, yeah, Destiny would be like, that's a legendary right there. And I'm like, what? Okay. Fluff says, this sensor thing definitely seems more like a support or buff / DB. Yeah, the new Dragon's Dogma person. Yeah, he's definitely a buff illusionist, they said, where he can like buff his allies, put decoys and stuff like that. But I just thought, man, what a waste. It's not a waste. I know some people would like the character, but like to me, and even not even talking about Summoner, I'm just talking about like you have a weapon where you have this like what is it called? It's like this. Also, is my commentary okay? Like my audio? Because I feel like I had to fuck with it a little bit, and I wonder if it's just like blasting, like super loud. Let me know. It might be like weird. Hopefully it sounds okay. But yeah. Sorcerer have devastating spells, cast down meteor, giant tornadoes, ice spikes, etc. Yeah. They're definitely like, again, that's also why to me like it's such a shame, because Dragon's Dogma devs I think would have done like a really cool different version of Summoner that we usually see, you know. Also, I can't even remember the last time we had like a Summoner in a third-person game that had like these battle-type spectacle things, you know. Like Diablo, I think is a top-down. Not quite what I mean by third-person, of course. I mean like a RPG type Final Fantasy-esque kind of running around in a big world, and you can like summon a bunch of skeletons to go rip something apart, you know. Legend says, just gotta say, you really helped me a lot with in the past 2 years with Legend. Thank you so much. I'm happy you got some value out of the guides. That's so sweet. Legend. Raid says, yes, that's the thing, was pretty cool, but man, was it bad in action? What was bad in action? Which one? Which one? Oh, the Drag's Promise? Yeah, the Drag's Promise. Yeah. The Drag's Promise was a nightmare, man. I remember I forced myself to make it work. I also tried to make the shotgun. The shotgun was like the only okay one in the lot, but it was still pretty rough. But man, I tried my hardest to keep that thing around. Fluff says, that tends to be true for Destiny exotics. Great in concept, bad in execution. Yeah, they look sick too. Yeah. So there's definitely positives. I don't mean to be a hater, but yeah. But I feel like it has cemented itself within the Dragon's Dogma thing for me. I am going to play the archer mage person who is, I hope, just as broken as he was in the past. I doubt it because. I don't know. I think those Dragon's Dogma is a really great example of what do you call it? Of RPGs that like know how to scale, because there was plenty of like builds in Dragon's Dogma that could be like fucking crazy proficient. I just remember how broken the like auto aim on a bunch of monster parts and then just go and you just see a bunch of these little, like, tiny little gnats eat a boss alive. You're like, damn. And they're constantly, like, losing limbs and shit. Wild. Yeah, the thing was pretty cool, but man, it was a bad accident. Red says, exactly, a great concept, bad in execution. Yeah, well, I just felt like, again, like, Destiny for me always lacked that feeling of, like, Borderlands nailed it, where it's like, this is a legendary, especially Borderlands 2. I feel like Borderlands 3, it nailed the aesthetic, but then kind of lost the kind of, Borderlands 3 was pretty good too, but there were a couple, like, legendaries that, like, I hated what they do with explosives in Borderlands 2, where it's like, it just became this, like, slow-moving projectile that almost always killed you, and was just kind of messy, and there was no real way to amplify it like you could fire or anything else, you know? Just a bit annoying. So I hated the way, in Borderlands 1, fucking, my god, was explosives the best. It was just so fucking rad. And it was like, because it had, like, you basically just had buckshot. Not buckshot, sorry, explosive buckshot. I think of that. I'm thinking birdshot. I mean, but buckshot's the big fucking slug. No, I'm thinking of birdshot. Like, just a bunch of ping, and then, like, a bunch of explosions with each little pellet. It was fire. A Legend says, why did you stop posting Let It Die? Well, Legend, I played it for like 2 years going. I played it on console, I played it on PC. I did damn near everything that I wanted to do, and everything else that I wanted to do, I personally, like, for a while when I was playing the game, I wasn't actually enjoying it that much anymore, because what really fueled me to play that game and make me want to make videos on it was me basically coming up with really good answers to people who were struggling with the game. And the Forceman and Tengeku never had answers I felt like I wanted to spread. Like, the answer was, you need to me, you either need to become unfucking godly good at the game, or, like, you know every, and even then, man, I call bullshit. Like, there's people who spend 2,000 hours in the game, and you kind of get this, like, background sense of, like, fucking magic, where you understand every single nuance, but you gotta spend fucking 2,000 hours to get to that point. It's fucking insane. Or, and this is the model of the game, you can buy decals that massively give you damage so that you can experience Tengaku, you can go fuck up the Forceman, all those things. So I wasn't able to generate good answers anymore, and I personally wasn't getting anything out of the game. Like, I already played it for 2 years straight. It was a game that stopped updating, so I didn't have anything else to talk about and cover, and I felt like a phony about me making content when there was nothing to make content about. And I never really had any sort of, like, belovedness for basically Dark Souls difficulty-based games. I just like helping people. Like, I like problems, and I like being able to solve a problem in a way that makes it so that other people find that the solution is valuable. Because a lot of people can come up with a solution, but it's almost always sometimes shit, and most people don't want to hear that solution, so why even talk about it almost, in some cases. Anyways, the reason why I'm not covering it right now anymore, Legend, is because I don't know if I'm ever going to be I feel like it's the same thing. I feel like I'm going to be a phony going back into a game that I feel like I have played to death, and I feel like I kind of feel a little, like, I feel empty towards it, and I just want to keep the memories that I have about the game that I love, and I thought it's such a unique game, it's brilliant, it's fun. I'm so happy that I was able to help people. I want to keep those memories alive while not lying to myself and to the people who I'm making content for about how I'm happy with this game and I'm satisfied playing it and things like that. And to be honest, Legend, it's mainly because I found VR. I cannot describe to you how much I love making videos in VR because of the way they look, because of what I can have access to do, because of the crazy and absurd ideas that I have that I can actually bring into fruition with mods. Like, we played a game yesterday on stream that I cannot wait to make a video about, talking about. I have a bunch of series that I love making in my other channel, which I don't really want to mention because I don't want people who like Let It Die to go to that channel, because it's just nothing like Let It Die. It's all VR based. If you want to find it, you can. It's probably in the tags of one of my videos and things like that. But yeah, that's kind of the pitch that I give almost every stream at this point. I'm sure our regulars are pretty annoyed hearing it, but it's not your fault, Legend. But yeah, that's the kind of the way I feel. And yeah, I'm so enchanted by VR at this point and what I'm able to create with it. The issue that I have with VR is being able to reach people beyond VR. So yeah, like I feel it's like I need to make VR content that is generally interesting, not just interesting to VR people. The issue with that is needing to become like a master at basically like attaching your content, whether it's like, oh, there's this really cool mod that like gives you magic powers, awesome. How do I connect that to something that's super not niche, like a VR game that happens to be in the video is a magic video? Well, if I can tie in some other mods that basically make me a wizard, and then I can attach that to the Harry Potter series, then maybe that's actually a pretty interesting mod. The Harry Potter people get what they want, the VR people get what they want, and both those people can basically see that video and maybe push it and share it and see it. That's the challenge right now that I'm having, which I'm actually having fun thinking about how to make it happen. All that stuff. Anyways. As always, I'm just having fun and doing my best and genuinely trying to work hard to improve at giving people what they want and things like that. I'm also giving people giving me what I want, and I want to be selfless in this, by the way. But yeah, Lone says, what's good, Lone? Lone says, what's up, good? What's good, Lone? Fluff beat you today. I was surprised. Fluff says, I like the look of the double sword vocation, so I'll likely go with that. Oh shit, okay. Usually you go tanky boy. That's the Mystic Knight equivalent. Okay. Yeah, the armor looks sick. I feel like almost every playstyle that I've seen looks really, really good. Again, I don't know if I understand the support. I mean, I guess you have pawns, so I guess there's a decent argument. Like it's always crazy to me that like Skyrim had restoration. And it's like, and no, everyone had like a max out restoration at the end of the game because you heal yourself, of course. Even warriors have like 10% magic to go, and then you're done. But most of the time, like restoration and buffing skills to me are just lost because the AI has always been so derpy that it can't actually make use of it within the one nuanced thing of like summoner types can basically just infinitely like usually a reason why, like you can either just teleport a ghoul right on top of an enemy so they don't have to fucking get caught between the geometry of the world and fight for like 20 minutes just to get over something. But yeah, every class in this game looks like, okay, playthrough 5. We're not getting to playthrough 5. We're probably getting to playthrough 2, but it's appealing enough to be like, okay, yeah, the archer here. What is wrong with you that you are playing a goddamn archer and not a mage archer? In what world is it even remotely the same, like usable? I don't know. It's crazy to me. Maybe you can make like bomb arrows opposed to heat-seeking fucking lightning, fire, and all that. What? I don't know. Arcane archer should be still be good. Probably way why I made it into this. Yeah. Hopefully. So far, it's the only hybrid that did. Ooh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Lone says, how are you? I'm doing good, Lone. How are you? I'll probably go with the greatsword vocation if the character carries the sword like the image. Like it would be in Dark Souls where it's just like this fucking giant. It's basically like a bat. Red says, if it instead holds the sword downwards, no, not over the shoulder, then I won't. You really? Is that such a funny thing that like the like what is it called? That's not okay. So you hate the Monster Hunter type hold then, where it's just like kind of thing. There's a moment where he goes like puts it on his shoulder and smashes it. I was watching the Shadeversity or whatever his name is. Sorry. He made. I'm not sure what that's happened that video, but he's gonna make a part 3 I think eventually. But he was showing like a big fucking sword and how it could possibly be used, and a lot of it is just like using your body as like an access point, like a lever basically, so that you're basically just going like and then like getting underneath, and it's just like you get stabbed 6,000 times. Like in the middle of setting up and priming an attack, dude, a little tiny assassin just gets on your neck and starts stabbing you in the throat. But yeah, man, it's just be crazy. I think that's why like every sword that we do see is like a bastard sword or like a I don't know what they're called, but it's like a little wavy sword. It's like a big ass sword, but it's like a little wavy guy, but still like maybe 10 pounds, maybe at that. I will say I don't like what they said. My one like negative about it is they did say that Dragon's Dogma 2 is taking place in an alternative universe. So I'm like, what the fuck? Why call it Dragon's Dogma 2? I mean, it looks like it's a sequel, so I shouldn't be that guy. But it does kind of feel like, but none of the actions that you took place are the. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that like they say that Dragon's Dogma 2 is taking place in an ulterior universe. It's odd. Not a fan of that. I feel like it kind of makes the previous people who played the game kind of feel useless, but I think it also ended in a negative way. So it's like, fuck it, who cares? It was not like we had a happy world anyway that we wanted to keep. Fluff says they haven't shown Assassin or Mystic Knight, but they're also split the Strider into 2 base vocations. Oh, okay. I thought we've seen some Mystic Knight before. I thought we've seen some like Knight with a man. I have a memory of seeing like a dude have like a fire sword, but maybe that's the same thing as Mystic Strider or something like that. Warrior, Great Sword, Monster Hunter. It's one of the avocation of the advanced vocation, so it's also usable by Ooh. Red says Great Sword and Monster Hunter. Not sorry, whatever the fucking massive sword is. Sorry. Really? Damn. Never mind that. It's the one that's Hopefully there's stances. I feel like that's more realistic. Fluff says pawns can't play the hybrid, so that's why I usually aim for most people use a hybrid, not because because your pawns can basically be proficient in the other ones. My nose feels like it's stuffing up. But you can't customize your moveset. Oh, but you can customize your moveset. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like you'd be able to have it your way, maybe. Flo says, it will be one of the slowest melee weapons. How? Yeah. I see, I guess. We'll see. The character grade looks pretty good. I don't know if I love... I mean, I guess it's nice to kind of go through, like, do you want to look kind of like this? Kind of like that? I still want to... I don't know what it is. I still want to make my finishing touches. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just me being controlling, but, like, I'm like, the jawline could just use a little bit more, jawline of the gods. All that. It's pretty easy to swap locations, too. If the game will work like the original, there's going to be a reason to level your character whilst swapping classes along the way. I don't know if I love that. Maybe it's just a preference thing, but I like to like fully commit. You know what I mean? Like the limitations of the fact that I can't like. I always like the idea that like, you want to reset your class? It's gonna cost some money. Not like an obscene amount of money, but enough money to where you better. There's some reason for you to stick it out, like to stay here and do your thing. See, that's kind of summonery. He summons a dragon and he does a decoy. Fucking decoy, dude. Goddamn decoy of all things. They show it a bit during the footage. Has up now. Oh, that was up right now? Okay. Oh, yeah, the Great Sword thing. Red says, I played Dark Arise twice. So, okay. What's Dark Arise? What's that? Is that like a version of a character? Like a preset type? Like a, what's it called? Subclass? Fuck, avocation? Goddamn, why can't you call it subclass? Fluff says, so I imagine I won't drift too much if you tried Warrior at all. Okay. Yeah. I see what you mean. Lone says, also, did anyone know that Suicide Squad was having a closed alpha test and people who have played it are saying it's good? I've been saying it's gonna be good to people who like it or people who are interested in it. I feel like I'm gonna get a ton of value out of that goddamn game. I can't wait to play Homeless Man and start slingshotting around the world. It's been a while since I played an Arkham-esque type game. I can't wait. I did, however, not know that, Lone. I did not know that it was a closed beta. I did see that they were advertising, like, Justice League or whatever, or Suicide Squad trailers, and I was like, oh, fuck, is it coming out soon? And then they don't really say anything, but that makes sense. Why they're like, hey, come check it, what's going on? I still am curious to see if they're able to... I have seen very few companies that can actually do, like, live service support, well, you know? What are we doing? Red says, I did not. I played mostly dual dagger and bow vocation. Yeah, I've seen people do that. I think because I feel like, yeah, a lot of the builds I've seen was basically like dual dagger because you can basically jump on an enemy and just shank the fuck out of them. And then it was the spiritual, the bow magic hybrid. I always forget the name. But yeah, I always see people do those hybrid builds, I think, because I think you need to pick two. I don't think you can just pick one. I don't know. I mostly do daggers. Fluff says, I think the new double sword class might be a fighter and mage or rogue and mage. That makes sense. I feel like that's a cool spin on the like, I don't know, the whole like spell sword. It feels a little played out at the point. Also, it kind of feels stupid that like yeah, I don't know why you couldn't have a staff in a sword essentially and be like, yeah, there, now you don't have to like do one of these. You can just fucking have an extra sword and then just think a spell into existence or some shit. Was it called spell chanting or yeah, something chanting? I don't know. Man, whenever I scroll a tiny bit, YouTube's like, you want to go to the bottom? And I'm like, no, I want to keep where I was. Where was I? God damn it. I see, I get it. Lone said that. Got it. Okay, Lone says also, a lot of people are getting sued because they are breaking an NDA. I don't know if that ever really holds up, but you never want to be because basically, whenever there's some shit like that, like people getting sued over an NDA, it is almost always like the company basically says, yeah, everyone can go, but one person we have to fucking brutalize and like ruin their whole fucking life. And yeah, I just don't want to be that guy, basically. Red says, I'm fully expecting suicide. It's a negative comment. Flop, yeah. Flop. Their first mistake was making it a live service. I disagree, Red. I like live services when they're done right. I hate that we have to live in a world where, like, no fucking game in the world can be a live service or it's shit. I hate you. Die. Ugh. Why can't it's like someone being like, no RPG should ever be made ever because I played a couple RPG games and they're shit and I think they never should be made. And I'm like, God damn it. Or maybe that's too much. Not that they never should be made, but I hope they all flop and the people who spent hours making this experience fucking don't have a job and rot in hell. And yeah, I don't like that world. I don't like that sentiment. Okay? I'm 100% understanding that people are tired of getting squeezed for every single cent and monetary thing that they have. But at the same time, there's an audience for people who want content continually throughout a year's lifespan. Like Destiny is a great example. Also a bad example because they're fucking every capitalism, baby. Siphon more, rip and eat and tear. Sorry. Greed and all that. Greed and all that. Very reductive sentence. But anyways. Fluff says, mages were the only option for supporting the original game, so center classes are nice improvements. Oh, I see. Fluff says sorcerers went all in to offensive classes. Ah, I see. So now it's more split up, I guess, especially with the weird mystic person who's also a support. Although I would really like to see on paper how many people played Dragon's Dogma with a support class, you know what I mean? And did they complete the game? Or did they just like start it and be like, this, alright, we're done. Unless they make like the buffs for support people like fucking disgusting, I don't see most people being like, yeah, I would rather not play the game. You know what I mean? Plus this GRINN, you have to start as one of the base classes and then you can change to hybrid. Yeah, I knew that bit. Fluff says, plus the original game had Berserker content before Dark Arisen. So, that's what Red was talking about. Is he played, maybe Dark Arisen's the MOBA, or not the MOBA, the online type thing. Red says, yes, any game where you hold a great sword downward, I think looks stupid. I mean, that should be heavy. That's heavy as fuck. I feel like I empathize. Granted, you're also like hitting a thing into what is essentially like a building sized creature. So theoretically, it's still not going to be enough to do damage to it, probably. Love says, otherwise you can't probably cosplay. Yeah. Well, I feel like a game. Well, I don't know. The only thing that would make Dragon's Dogma 2 is modding and co-op. As much as, again, I say co-op, but I know that I don't know. I like Dragon's Dogma because it's an RPG that makes use of companions really well. Whereas I think if you add co-op, it almost makes... most games who have like co-op put in there, their AI for their companions are like just dumber than dirt, essentially. So I don't know. I don't know if we can have both. Yeah, any game where you hold a great sword down. Lone says, I'm doing great, Grim. I did some drawing today and played some game. What kind of game are you playing? All right, you finished the Outer Worlds. What ending did you choose? Did you choose the meme ending where you have such a high stupid stat that you can literally launch your ship into the sun and that's a valid ending? Love says the ending of DD1, like explaining that the first game didn't have elves or cat people. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so I guess it makes sense that it's in a hybrid world. Although I feel like that could be easily explained. Like it's 200 years in the future, right as your character died. We found a colony on a shutaway island. Turns out there were monster people there. We took them back. We did horrible things. Now they're just assimilated, and it's the whole thing. A Mystic Knight had a tower shield and either a mace or a sword. The fire enhanced came from mages. Oh, I see. Okay, Mystic Knight could self-enchant. Feels like it's a paladin. Like a Mystic Knight's just another version of a paladin. Red says, fucking goddamn it, it did again. Speaking of cat people, they don't have tails. Why? Do they not? I feel like it has to be a coding thing. It just has to be like, fuck. Most tails in games are kind of stupid, like they're clipping through their fucking armor and it looks odd, and it's also like, the physics don't match up at all. It's just, yeah. I figure they had advanced perceived custom options too. Oh, that might be true too. Maybe we would add a cat tail if like you want to put up with their weird shit. It's so bizarre seeing a cat/beast race, but not avatar. I didn't even notice. I had no idea. Maybe it's in there. It's just hidden under. That actually makes more sense to me. That like it's impossible to like, if you live in a world dominated like crazy by human beings or people who don't have tails, you would just say, fuck it, can I wrap my tail around my waist or some shit like Goku? And just be done with it, you know? And I feel like even that way, you could have like specialty armor that's like, you only need to design like 5 armors, and that armor legitimately has like a tail attached to it, essentially, or something. Yeah, probably break the game's physics. Same thing with capes. Yeah, capes are also fucking brutal. Oh, there are like, not capes, but like cloaks, and I thought I seen. There's like a guy walking, I thought one trailer, I thought I see him like with a cloak, and I thought that looks rad. I figured they have advanced customization options too. It's fair, but the same goes for the BG3 Dragonborn tail aren't always persistent. Oh. Baldur's Gate 3 Dragon, yeah. Dark Arisen was the expansion / re-release of the first game. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know there was like a DLC to it. Love says, why we Dark Arisen instead of saying Dragon's Dogma? Shit. That's complicated. Bo was Strider, Ranger, and Assassin. Or Dual Dagger, that's what it was. Oh, so it didn't have the same. Okay, maybe that was just... I remember always seeing people use daggers when they used the bow one as well. Because I think you can equip weapons, you just may not be able to use them efficiently. Red says, I mostly use the dragon, only using the bow for certain... I read dragon, sorry guys, my eyes are tripping out a little bit because I normally have a light there, so it's fucking my eyes up a little. Also, when you're reading something that's like pretty far out of your like read line for a long time, your eyes start bugging out essentially. So things get harder to, like, I already have a hard time reading, but this makes it even harder, to be clear. I mostly use daggers, only using bows for certain situations like harpies and such. I see. Well, yeah, because you kind of have to, right? I think eventually do like sweeping attacks, which you can time, but I don't know. But in Dragon's Dogma 2, they split Strider into 2 separate. So yeah. So that hopefully means at least one more advanced class and a few more hybrids. Maybe Mist and Sorcerer can become... I don't know, dude. I don't think that's how it works. I think Fluff has been trying to tell me that like only certain things can be hybrids. Oh, no. I just am sad that we're not getting our Summoner Dream. Oh. Still very excited for the game, though, because we get a bunch of other stuff. 4 based, 4 advanced, and a hybrid for every possible base combo. Okay, so maybe that can't be possible. Maybe it's possible that one of the hybrids can have some summoning things. Lone says, the only reason I found out is because I was scrolling through my email this morning and I saw it was invited to play. The beta that got lost in the email because it was sent back on the 29th of November. Shit. I would have loved for you to play it and let me know how it was. Because to me, I expect it to be like a mixture of Destiny meets Arkham City. Or maybe, yeah. I don't know. I feel like I want to say Arkham City because it looks pretty polished, sorry. Whereas there was that other DC... You guys were telling me about it a couple days ago. It's like it came available on the autumn sale or whatever it was. But anyways, yeah, it's like the other new exploratory game, whatever it's called. The only reason Fluff says Dragon's Dogma 1 had a fighter, Strider, Mage, Warrior, Archer, good, so many. Also, I keep saying Dragon's Dogma 2, but that's Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma 1 is what I was talking about. Anyways, you have more optimism and confidence in the... I don't have either, Red. I just feel like I don't like generalizing. I would rather judge person as they are, or as an individual, than like the sum of their parts. You know what I mean? Like an idea can be vigorously corrupted. I don't know if that's exactly fair, because sometimes people can just succumb to like human bullshittery, like greed, like vanity, like ego and things like that, right? So for me, I would never call what I have as optimism. I just want to be fair. That's the biggest. I want to be fair to each individual thing. That doesn't mean I want to hide from criticism of it. Like absolutely, if what's it goddamn called, a Suicide Squad ends up being like a gluttonous, vampiric, evil, siphoning succubus that basically is constantly trying to rip everything from you, then that's shitty, and I don't want to play that. Now I'll try to probably look at gameplay footage in the week leading up to it to see if it is any of those things. But at the same time, I would also like to see like, okay, no, its skin system looks like it's also giving us some awesome options. Cool, and there's a battle pass. I don't really have a problem with the battle pass so long as there's like sufficient content that everyone can participate in. That's awesome. I think it's also just good for optics. Then awesome. But I like judging things as an individual. I don't like lumping everyone into a pile and being like, we're done. I've decided that is disgusting or something, you know? But I understand the again, I am also like one of the things that's equally frustrating. There was a thing that was coming out that like GTA Online was gonna have even more of a price tag on it. The new GTA game that was coming out is gonna have is not gonna be $60. It's gonna be I think $90 or $80, and it's still going to have a shit ton of like shark passes and all that stuff, because of course it will. And it might even have other things like special cosmetic outfits, which they kind of already do. So yeah, I don't know. So to me, I do think we're in a place where. Oh, and I also watched. This is something that puts a lot of that into perspective. It's unfortunate, but it kind of is like a system that works too well and it can't be stopped. It seems like. Or it's very unlikely that it'll be stopped. What I mean by that is, I was watching this video of a person who worked for a company. I'm sure you guys have seen him on the rounds. He's been just blowing up on like YouTube Shorts. Anyways, but he basically was saying that he worked for a game company developing a really, really popular game, and within the 2 or 3 years that he spent supporting that game, putting stuff back into that game, all of the amount of capital built up over 3 years of constant support to the game, like DLC expansions and such, it was beat within the first month by a game. I think it was like WoW, that released one paid skin or one armor mount. One armor mount in WoW basically completely destroyed everything, or not destroyed, completely eclipsed by like a huge amount all of the years and years of paying for a development team, paying for all this other stuff with one skin on a stupid horse, essentially. And it put things into perspective of like, oh, imagine you run a business and imagine you get that kind of optics. Now, yes, ideally you also realize, okay, like that reason why that works is because it's fucking WoW, who already basically gave people fed their voracious appetite for years and years and years, things like that, except sure. I think you could apply it to like a lot of other things, like any other thing, because most people are like, I want to look cool while I play the game, so they're willing to buy that thing to look cool while playing the game, even if they haven't even started playing the game yet. For a lot of people, like the amount of people who buy a Valhalla skin day one because they think it looks cool and it's right in front of their face, and they think, fuck yeah, I want to be playing this game for a couple hours, maybe even 10. Fucking why don't I look awesome while doing it? So as much as it's disgusting and it's so shitty, it is one of those things from a business perspective I can't even imagine, because it is like, it just seems like the most. Imagine you could take care of everyone you could possibly want, like all of your nieces, nephews, your family, the whole lot, just for this one choice, this one little choice, and it just becomes like the embodiment of like greed, where it starts off really like, I just want to take care of people. But then it just keeps getting, it's just a little bit easier to make that choice. It's a little bit easier to kind of, but we could do even more with that money. Hey, we could even hire more people with that money. But hey, we should always also take care of the people at the very top, for sure. But we'll eventually hire people, for sure. And you've been working really hard too, so of course you should get a little bit more. It's fine. And it just becomes like this gross blanket of yeah. But it's funny because like, I also don't think greed is evil. I think greed is like, I think a person who like when something bad happens and he needs to pay for like a medical problem that happens within his family, that can be the thing that saves his family or saves this person. So I don't think money is purely evil. I think there's I think the 7 deadly sins, if we're going to get really into it, are basically a balancing point. Like envy, we talked about before too. Envy can actually be a pretty good force. It can push you to feel like you want to keep doing more for yourself. You can see the accomplishments of others and think, not only do I want that, I feel like I have the capacity to get that. The issue is when any of these things goes too far in the other direction and you become resentful, hateful, disgust, like angry, etc. I honestly think the same thing could be said if we're going to get biblical with the heavenly commandments, etc. They can either eat because if you can imagine a person who's so generous and so kind, but then they suffer their whole life because they always give away their money, that's equally as disgusting and terrible. So again, balance essentially would be the theme to follow. But alas, a little preachy on my end. Sorry. Let's get back to the comments. Sorry. Lone says, no, I do. Well, let me catch up. Lone says, no. I did not choose that ending, Grin. My character was far too smart for it. But I did get the ending where you run Haikun and save the people in the hope. Ooh, I don't know which one. I don't even remember which one I got. I tried to get the best ending, the one where you don't die, which is good. And I don't know which one it is. I think it's the one where basically you I don't know. I think you push against the capitalist machine a little bit. Kogas actually have long/full tails, but most are docked by breeding. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That could be an excuse too, where it's just yeah, tails are kind of not worth not worth their salt, actually. Like, it's possible to get a pair of pants. I mean, you think that's crazy, but we live in an age where people who are just like, fuck it, let's chop off some wiener. So yeah, and there's no reason for that really. So besides aesthetics, which is even weirder. Anyways, we don't need to get into that. But I'll just figure his cat people and Dragon's Dogma 2 are related to those. But yeah. Fluff is a great example of like, I'll try to make sense of it. I don't need it to work. I just need to understand why, and I'm happy. Or I'm okay. Dark Horizon was the subtitle and became the main only version of the game after it was released. Weird. Okay, so that's why. I gotcha. So to Red, who maybe got to it later, that's why it was the game. I see. Red says, honestly, those problems can pretty easily be fixed with proper use of colliders. Well, are we sure this is being made with Unreal? Because I don't know if all engines are the same, but maybe. Box ciphers, it's a super easy thing to do. I was about to say, you even added that to goddamn Elden Ring, which I thought was incredible. I can't recall if it's the first game had forms of summoning, since your pawns were pretty much on that. Yeah, to me, I guess what I was more hoping for is like a skeleton or something like that, because your pawns are kind of like, I don't know, they're like, I can't even describe it, but I was like, they're not a summon. They're more like a gotcha character that you've got, or like a companion, basically. They're more like a companion, which to me has always been like, they should be more smart, they should be more intuitive. Summons are like, there's a reason why they're following you. It's because they're dumber than bricks, and they're trying to survive. And they've really realized, hey, follow big guy, and we survive. Or at least he keeps our soul alive, so it's less of a bad time. Also, what's good, Super? Sorry I didn't say hi sooner. We're just slowly getting to the bottom. Give me a minute. Super says, let's chop off some wiener. So, out of context. Hey, stop it. There's context there. What do you call? Fluff says, I received an email from Gearbox. Oh, wait. Also, according to my friend, he's been hearing rumors of Battleborn maybe coming back. Oh my god, one sec. I wanted to tell you guys about this forever ago. This is connected, I'm sure. I don't know if you guys remember this game. There was a game that came out, I think, right before Battleborn. It was called Gigantic, and it was very much like a MOBA, almost to the letter, where like except instead of like moving, I don't know how to describe it, but you weren't like moving units to a point. That wasn't what you were doing. But what you were doing was something kind of like you were just basically going around this like shell shaded map. It's hard to explain, but it was basically like Hero Shooter 2 or Hero like Melee Buffer, kind of stuff. A super unique game. But I thought the same thing, Fluff. I thought a couple weeks ago, maybe like a month ago, I got an email saying, tune into Gigantic's. It was basically what they were saying was like they're gonna turn on the servers again, have the community play, and then it seemed like they were gonna turn it off. And I was just like, that's really weird to do for this super obscure kind of game. Like, very weird. I don't know what the heck the deal is with that. What I could see maybe is Sony and maybe even Xbox basically being like, hey, we could use some different hitters, essentially stuff to like add to our collection that makes it seem good, and we'll pay for the servers being up, especially when there is, again, I think anyone who is seeing that like Overwatch and such is still popular enough to where people are willing to give it a try. These other games that people never gave a try that were kind of better, you could run it. But dude, I'd be so thrilled if Battleborn were back. I'd love to play that game, because that game to me, unlike Let It Die, to me, like Let It Die, I think it has its like really tight and really like strong community. I will always think that Battleborn never got a fair shot, and I think there's something about that game, how good it was, how much shit was in there, how much like there was story, the cosmetics weren't egregious. They like the cosmetics were actually like had effects and shit attached to them. There were so many characters to play, and they were all kind of really good as far as balance goes. The AI was a little dicey, but the balance was pretty solid. And shit, it was such a good game. So man, dude, if Battleborn is coming back in a way, and they're like gonna sell it to like Xbox as like a thing to be like, hey, it's just gonna be another thing in your catalog. So when Xbox is like, all new on Game Pass, we got this game, this game, this game, and Battleborn happens to be there, dude, fucking I'd be juiced. I don't think it makes as much sense for Sony to grab it, because Sony doesn't have, is not PC, but I could see Xbox snagging that, throwing it on Game Pass, and then PC people being able to play it, and then also console people being able to play it, and that being huge. I can't recall it, the first, Fluff says, I received an email from Gearbox about another game that seems to be making a triumphant return after an untimely death. So I wouldn't be surprised. What is that? Can you tell me? Because there was no NDA, and like I just got the email that said like if you're a part of this kind of like legacy playtest, what do you call it? You have to sign like a non-disclosure agreement or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but I just never signed it. Like, all right, I just seen the email, so I don't think I went fucked up for that. But yeah, I think so. I think you're allowed to tell me the email that you got about the game, or is it the same game? Is it Battleborn? Lone says, I did play a GRINN. The beta is live until tomorrow, and it was full. Oh, I see. Oh no, it was fun. Oh, you did play the game. The Suicide Squad, was it good? Who did you play? Yeah, who did you play? I know it's Harlequin, but let me tell me about how she played. Yeah. What stood out to you as good? What stood out to you as bad? If there wasn't it. Red says that there is only one reason publishers / devs make live service games: greed. But that's not the case. Really, I feel like I'm not sure. I guess we have to get into the nitty gritty of what is live service. But like one of the games to me that has proven it to be perfect when it comes to like a live service game is Don't Starve. Don't Starve Together specifically is one of the best examples of like you can play the game. It constantly adds new environments, worlds. And then basically it releases like cartoony skins for your characters. But it constantly gives you like new areas to like look around in, new bosses, new mechanics, new characters, and the whole shebang. That's an amazing example of a live service game that in my opinion, has zero, even slight hint of greed. Like I don't feel like they're trying to money grab at all. It feels like they're just like, no, this is fair. We're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. Oh, I'm lost. Lone says, oh, I wouldn't mind Battleborn coming back. Dude, I would, that'd be our stream game. We played it all the time on the stream. I guarantee it. I would still be bad. I was never good at the game. Never, not once. But, Love says, I recall hearing that it was a Blizzard dev talking about the profit from the first premium mount made when more than the expansion and the core game. Yeah, it's the pirate guy. He's got long ass hair. He's always like coding or some shit. It was him. I might have got the story mixed up, but it was the same premise about like the entirety of like a game being in service for a while was eclipsed by like one people being like, hey, I want, and it makes sense from like if you're already bought in. Say we're playing Dragon's Dogma. And you're already bought into like, I'm gonna play, and most people are with RPGs. Most people are like, I'm gonna dump 50 hours in this game, like easy. Like, that's the baseline usually. It's like 20 to 50. So if you're like, okay, I'm gonna drop that much in there, and as much as I think Ubisoft is one of the worst examples. In fact, there was please remind me to talk about the Ubisoft drama that happened a couple days ago for Black Friday. It's so funny to me. Anyways, but Ubisoft is one of the more egregious ones. But they did do stuff that I think makes a lot of sense, which is like day one that you buy a game, they're like, hey, by the way, if you want, there's this skin for your mount. And yeah, if you want to if you're gonna if you're already going into the game with the expectation that you're gonna play a lot of it, then most people who have like a 9-to-5 job or something like that, who aren't as into video games but still love RPGs, they'd see that and be like, it's fucking $10 and I'm gonna be able to look fucking badass. and I'm going to have a higher quality of those first 10, 20 hours because of that, and I have disposable income, and don't fucking tell me how to spend it kind of mentality as well. Of course they're going to fucking spend it, you know what I mean? So it's unfortunate, but I get the rationale or business practice of it. I don't think it's good as far as like for gamers, so to speak. It's not like it's good for everyone involved, but yeah, I get why people are moved to do it. Red says, you make a valid argument, Grin. I'm just too, I don't know if you're cynical. I think it's good to have you on my shoulder, because you kind of always point out stuff that I'm like, yeah, I could see how that could be too egregious, and it makes me careful. Like, it makes me be like, okay, like having people point out that this could be dangerous, this could be predatory, helps me be like, okay, I'm going to be more careful to not succumb to that predatory thing, but I always also try not to like we live in a world with cigarettes and like 100% or 80% alcohol or something like that. Theoretically, you could fucking get wrecked, but I'm not going to take away other people who want to experience those things. I'm just going to focus on how I can control myself and how I can I honestly like to get really close to the wire so that I know I have it in my brain to say, no, stop. Like, immediately stop. No matter how excited or interested, you can pull back against that pull. Flo says Dragon's Dogma 2 will be in the Resident Evil engine. Oh shit, okay, the RE engine. RE is Unreal? What's RE engine? Resident Evil engine or Unreal? That must be a Resident Evil engine. Is it the same thing? Do you guys see that? I've been seeing some trailers of what was it called? The remastered version of Resident Evil that's VR based. Shit looks crazy. I'm sad that I'm never going to be able to play it. But yeah. The possibility is the next Monster Hunter will be the last game in the RE engine before they release the Rex engine. Ooh, that sounds wild. It sounds wild. Well, Capcom has... Oh, fucking dude, Monster Hunter was always one of those games where, like, Monster Hunter World specifically, the fucking engine was always like, this is incredible. Like, damn, this is really well, like, stable. It's like the battles are larger than life. I was playing it on my PS4 and it was doing plenty enough, you know? Which Capcom has placed a licensed Rex out to a similar way to Epic during their... Oh, okay, that's neat. Good, at least we have some competition. Although I'm still sad that Unity is still 100% okay. Yeah, I got an email for it, but I never had a chance to try it. Got it. Ooh, that would have been fun. I might have actually done that. Tried to do one more Battleborn thing, just for me. I had made some mods for RE Engine before, though. Physics with probably... Oh, I see. So you have some baseline to be like, actually, it's not that bad to decode. So maybe another reason, too. Imagine the RE engine does have the capacity, the capability natively, but I don't know for sure. I see. It seems to be gearing up for a resurrection for game. Dude, I mean, as much as I fucking hate, as much as I hate the reboot era that we're in, where like not reboot, remaster era, where like I can count on like a hand how many like really different experiences that we played. Again, we talked about last week, but like how every new game, if it's a remaster, it becomes daring and it changes shit and it like adds new mechanics or features that make the game overall better. But if it's a new IP or a new type of thing like Redfall, it's the most cookie cutter. It does like one. The idea is really interesting. Every single mechanic you've seen before, and it's done worse. So that's where I'm a bit cynical. I'm starting to lose my... Again, do you remember the game Scalebound? I'll always bring that game up because I was so fucking juiced for it. And then Microsoft, I don't know, some sort of weird shit where they had it with the guy who made Bayonetta or something. I don't know, some guy who like they did not work well with him or something, or he wanted more money. I don't know what it was. But I just thought, what a shame. What a shame we never got to have Devil May Cry meets Monster Hunter and actually have it be cool. Ooh. They seem to... Oh, what the fuck? They seem to be gearing up for resurrection for games. Gigantic went through a lot of publisher before being shut down and it seems Gearbox got the rights. Oh, I thought I heard somewhere. Oh, right. Oh, that'd be so cool. I don't know. Remember we talked about a while ago about how the people that bought Gearbox were basically looking to sell Gearbox out, basically, because they basically just were not making their money back. They bought like a bunch of devs, and then they just were not making enough money. So then they're open to the idea of like selling off some of the massive publishers that they bought. And they bought like a Gearbox for like fucking $3 billion or something, or $1 billion or something. A lot of fucking money. But everyone was kind of, at least to me, I was like, man, I kind of wouldn't hate Xbox having it, even though I don't have a complete faith in Xbox either. I just, the last couple of Gearbox games or Borderlands have not quite hit the mark for me. Borderlands I liked a lot, but it shot the landing badly. But yeah, man, I don't know. I would be. I wonder if that makes sense. Like, not only and it makes a lot of sense given that, what do you call it? If Gearbox, it makes so much sense. I didn't even think about it from that angle that last time. Shit, sorry. It makes even more sense that Xbox would be open to buying Gearbox, because Gearbox, I think, also has like a publishing company, and that just means that they would be able to have more things for, what is it called? For Xbox Game Pass. If that's how that works, which I think it might. We'll see. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but it would make sense also if they're even open to doing that they would start talking about, hey, maybe we go through with all that stuff. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how negotiations work and how that would actually sequence. I'm down for Gigantic and Battleborn coming back. I like both games. Yeah, both games were like mad unique. It was such a shame that like I never seen anything like it where Overwatch just captured. I think it was with their animations and their storytelling that just captured so many people, as well as their Blizzard. So they just like fucking have all of WoW to like give trailers to. But it was a shame because there was a lot of games that came out from like, oh, people are interested in this? Okay. And fucking Overwatch was like in development for like 3 years, and it was like everyone was like, why isn't this game launched yet? So other devs just jumped on the bandwagon and started doing the same thing. And the games that they made were, for in a lot of ways, better than Overwatch. Gigantic was another one that had like impeccable style. Fluff says, granted, the last time I went, I had a MOBA/hero shooter game on Game Pass. It was Bleeding Edge. Hey, Bleeding Edge was pretty good, but Bleeding Edge didn't have any depth. Like, that's one of the things that's sad. Bleeding Edge was like a really fun game that had a really good design, style, and everything. But like, if you compare that to Gigantic, you compare that to even Battleborn. Battleborn has like characters where you can like do crazy shit, and like the abilities recharge faster. You can actually like have a build. You can go into that with like bonuses that fucking massively change the way you play. Battleborn was such a fucking well crafted game, especially with like just the complexity of having like skills, having builds, and having like currency that you could buy, and just how they were able to juggle, like how jungling was basically a thing in the game, and it was all first person, and yet it worked. And yeah, the only thing that it didn't have really well as Battleborn is its matchmaking engine was awful. I always felt like it was always you win once, you lose once. It was like it just fought you against the hardest player or the most dog shit team you've ever played with. Lone says, I was about to say, Grin, I think you already know. Yeah, I knew. I know when you ask a question, because it's nice for a person to be able to express themselves, but in your mind, you know what you're going to say. You know what I mean? It was one of those for sure. I think you already know who I was going to play. Yeah. and you just called it. Yeah, I got it. It's actually kind of late. Red says, Don't Starve was live service. I did not get that feel. Yeah, but I think that's why, like, when live service is done right, you don't really get live service. But I think live service to me is something that is a game that's continually updated like every 2 months or 3 months. And I think Don't Starve definitely fits that category. Fluff says, oh, my 4 terabyte SSD arrived today. What do you call it, dude? I seen, I might need y'all to, dude. I talked about this a little bit last stream, but like, I've just spent a lot of money on this PC. Let me just flat out say that. I talked about it a lot beforehand, but now that I'm looking at the multi-stream combo, I'm looking at like how I was talking about this. Fluff may like let me ramble about this and kind of empathize, but I was thinking about how I'm going to make it work, because if I am streaming VR to this PC, I use my VR microphone that's plugged in and all that stuff going to that. So how are you? I'm gonna need to basically get a new microphone, so like a lav mic, so that you guys can hear me, because I'm not gonna be able to do that because I'm not. Unless I don't know. I don't know. It's unless in some way your capture card can like feed the like live commentary like over the gameplay sound. I don't know. But yeah, in my head I'm like, I was just gonna say maybe around like after Christmas, Boxing Day, if y'all could send me like some good storage, because I don't really have really good storage besides the one chunk that I got from Red, not got from Red, the thing I bought, the like SSD that has 2 terabytes of SSD storage on it, which is okay. But yeah, point is I was gonna be like, hey, send me that on Boxing Day, which hopefully by Boxing Day I'll have recovered emotionally from having spent this much money. but yeah, in my head I'm kind of like, but yeah, I might be. I don't think the lav mic should be too expensive. I hope, and we'll see. And we'll see. I don't know. It's rough out here. I think the lav mic is like $60, or hopefully less, but we'll see. I might sound like shit, which would also just be frustrating for me, because I'm like, no, I don't want the quality to be that bad. I was able to do the. Also, good luck. Congrats on the thing coming in, Fluff. That's awesome. I'm a little worried, Fluff. Again, like I told you, my Nvidia thing hasn't shipped yet. I think, which sucks. Well, Fluff says, so I'll be getting it set up after my next shift. Ooh, my eye. Do you just plug in all of your like your like your SSD and your hard drive plugs, just so that like when you actually do have to install a new hard drive, you don't have to actually find the cord, plug it into the power bank, and then plug it into your thing? This is with the presupposition that you've killed your power box, like you've turned it all the way off, etc. Also, do you guys want to see my PC case? We also should look at memes in a minute here. Red says, I think you definitely, the addition of unlimited live service is too loose. Yeah, maybe. Ubisoft's Ubisoft's mistake where they had the ad. Okay, let me talk about this. Okay, let me read what Fluff says. Ubisoft's mistake where they had an ad for AC Mirage when you open up a menu in Valhalla, or otherwise enter, was definitely a sign of how they've fallen into the greed hole. Okay. No, what was so well, yes, that is it. But, okay, for those guys who did not know, it's exactly like what Fluff said. The story behind this is basically when people started logging into Valhalla, I think it might have been one other game, for like 3 seconds, while you open up the map, which you are constantly doing, there was an ad that popped up on screen that said, order Assassin's Creed Mirage today, 30% off for Black Friday. Ooh, and then it faded out and faded out. Faded in and then faded out. First of all, in the fucking map screen, which you're opening up constantly, that's psychotic. But then the second thing, and this is by far the best, is I don't know why it's so funny to me. Their statement was, this was an accident, completely a mistake, a misflipped switch, oopsie, and it was just like, what the fuck are we talking about? How the fuck do you add something like that into your game? And then also the ad itself said Black Friday. Like there's no, it's just psychotic. There's no, it's like something like you doing something right in front of someone and being like, no. No, not no. You're like, dude, it's I get it. Like, oh, it's so funny to me. I just love the response of like, no, It doesn't make any sense. Where they're like, yeah, it didn't mean to happen. Some intern flipped a switch or something. And I'm like, it has the fucking Black Friday sale, and it's Black Friday week. This was not an accident. Absolutely weird. Oh, I love it so much. As much as I agreed, all that stuff, it was just a good laugh by the response of it all. I also think Ubisoft is getting to the point where they're like, we used to make millions, and now we're not making millions, so now we need to, instead of making better games that people actually want, and maybe making new IPs, and maybe making them to what people actually want, instead of their own kind of these super out there ideas, instead, let's charge them more money. And yeah. RE Engine is Capcom's newest in-house engine. Oh, good to know that somebody else is keeping up, because I feel like fucking Unreal there was just like killing it, like wild and too good. Red says, I love Avatar, but not Ubisoft. I fully expect Avatar to be monetized like crazy with shit cash shop. I don't know. Red. Just because it's not their IP. I think Ubisoft has had other things beforehand where I don't know what it is. I don't know who it was, but I thought they did other games that were like spin-offs of other movies and such, but they can't market as aggressively. Nor do I know if there's an incentivization to market it so severely, because I think the idea is when you work with another person's IP, depending on the deal, of course, I think they usually pay you a massive lump sum to like make this thing, and they have collaborative control over it as well. Very rarely do you get a really strong IP and you get complete control over everything, and that includes how much money and how much marketing and all that stuff is, etc. So I don't know. I would say the Avatar one is up for debate. I would probably, it'd be a safe bet, but I feel like it still could swing in the other direction. Granted, I am not excited for the Avatar game at all. But yeah. Alone says the game felt good. Oh, for the Suicide Squad, the game felt good. Shooting felt smooth. Ooh, yeah, it looked like it had like that Sunset Overdrive kind of flow to it. If you ever played that game, Alone. But the combat, I was surprised for it to be as to be a spin on the DMC combat, where you are rewarded on your performance by combining traversal and not getting hit, shooting, juggling enemies, melee, etc. Oh, I see. That's awesome. That's really cool. I like that because hopefully it's well, it depends. I wonder if there's like builds. Was there like skill trees alone that you could like get certain perks that like made it so that you could sequence in a different way? Because that's really interesting. Because I always find that I wonder how that survives. Like if you want to have a build that's really good but doesn't really get a lot of good combos, or if they're kind of mixed in with each other, where it's like, nah, it kind of forces you to play a certain way, given the build that you have. Oh, my comment shot back to the bottom again. Monster Hunter World was made before the engine. I haven't witnessed the full. I can't wait. I can't wait to see that potential. I always thought Monster Hunter World's engine was amazing. Like the look looked gorgeous and everything. I can't believe how big the spectacles were, and it didn't really lag that much for me. And I played the Glaive too, which is like the most fucking psychotic, like flipping around the map kind of thing. Platinum Games and Microsoft had various disagreements regarding a scale. Yeah, I know. It's but also I thought at the last minute there they were about to like pull it together, but then I think something fell through. I think probably because it needed more like a year of development or something. I also think that I could see the development being less on Microsoft's end in that way, just because Bayonetta does not look like an extremely stable game, especially the Bayonetta 2 and 1. And also the ambitions of Scale Mode was massive, so I can see that being really out of their depth. Anyways, sorry. Red says, yeah, Rise was great, but usually so much, especially the shadowing, everything looked grainy, especially characters and skin was I see, okay. You have that fine eye, you have that fine eye thing, and you can see all that shit. My dumb brain can't notice most. Granted, I'm on a shitty monitor that can't really see much, but I mostly enjoy the combat / co-op stuff for Battleborn, but the PvP was the co-op stuff was also fun. Yeah, I do think the PvP stuff had those. That's where it did a lot of the unique stuff. Where like the co-op, or sorry, the campaign stuff was fun, but I feel like it lacked depth. Whereas all the depth was like catered to the PvP. Right, it says, but your definition, Grin, that would mean even No Man's Sky is a live service. Oh, sorry, it has to have a monetary hook in it too. Yeah, so it can't, to me, by live service I mean a game that is continually updated whilst having some monetary, either it's microtransactions or it's battle passes. That to me would be live service, because No Man's Sky is in this weird space where I don't even know how it's making money. Like I don't think there's much. I don't know if there is like a microtransaction stuff in it at all. Maybe there is. I kept up with No Man's Sky, but to me it has to have like some way for the company to make money. The idea of live service is we're going to support a game for months and months and months, and we need a way to make that like actually scalable. So we're going to have to charge or make money in some way from that. That can't just be keep selling sales of the game. It has to be like something a little bit on top, whether that's a skin, whether that's a battle pass, whether that's I don't know. I don't really think like a DLC. I don't really think a DLC really counts. To me, it has to be like skins or something like similar to it. You know. Fluff says, yeah, I would just call No Man's Sky. By the way, sorry, I would just call No Man's Sky like an updated, like a game that just keeps updating itself, kind of similar to Minecraft. And I don't know many games that can do that unless they're that successful at shipping games. Like, I think the reason why No Man's Sky can do that, and the reason why Minecraft can do that is because the physical copy of Minecraft is bought so across the board for like every teen child, or not every child in the world. Everyone buys Minecraft, and No Man's Sky was one of the most bought in games just because of its promises. And then subsequent, it was bought in again because it was able to finally deliver on those promises years later, etc. Prices for a 4TB SSD will probably keep improving as time goes on. That's good. I also would like to get just like a terabyte or 10 terabytes of that fucking just an SSD drive, which I see is pretty not horrible as much. Just because I really don't like deleting videos. I don't know, they're on YouTube, but theoretically something could happen, so I like having a backup, but yeah. Otherwise, you'll probably be able to get a decent amount of HDDs with a ton of capacity for the sake of non-priority storage. Yeah. I have a cord organized, but I'll need to unplug everything, even take the GPU in order to get access. Damn! God damn! NVIDIA SSD go into your motherboard slot, which are more limited. SAT SSDs are installed inside like the yeah. Fluff says they also apparently leaked a Beyond Good and Evil remaster / remake, and they haven't even delivered on the promise of the game that has been in development for like 8 years now. Jesus, you guys remember that? The monkey trailer? Such a cool trailer. God damn, that game I whiff. Anyways, I wanted to show you guys my PC case before we switch over to memes. And yeah. Oh, my body. Oh, Jesus. Sitting down for so long. Ugh. Okay. Is this not comically large? It can't even be in frame, Red. It's not big at all. Why would it be massive? It's the size of my whole body, and I can't even be in frame. Okay? What if I pull it back? There. Look at this big son of a bitch. Okay? Oh, at the bottom clipped out because it's a cleanable thing. Oh, my fingerprints are going to be on there. Also, how fun is this? It's got these little buttons that you just press and that pops everything out. Isn't that neat? Also, I can take all this shit out for breathing, for airflow or something, which is pretty goddamn neat. And yeah, also, I guess I should show you, please, this. You can't really see the inside of it, but yes, but yes, it's totally just, hey, by the way, hey, it's totally not, it's a completely normal, average looking PC. Granted, Red did send me a video of the fucking, what is essentially considered a big PC, and it just looks retarded. It just looks so stupid. It's the most gargantuan shit I've ever seen in my whole life. Oh god. It is basically, I don't know what you're putting in there. At that point, just get a server. Just get like a gigantic square thing instead of getting this. I fucking pulled my neck. Anyways, also, Red, do you suggest that I actually, because I did see that you can actually pull out like the fucking chassis or whatever it is, like the point, like, is that why we got this one? So that I can actually pull out the back part? I should zoom in here. I was an ant. But should I pull out like the cage that I think it can come out? I think. Oh, God, my chest hurts. All right, let me catch up on chat. Sorry, I'm still not all the way caught up. I probably should have waited to do that until I caught up so I could see your guys' reaction. Fuck it. Let's read the last one. See you, Raid. Oh, Raid's leaving? Goodbye, Raid. Also, hello, King. Forgive me. Give me a sec, King. I gotta catch up on everything. Damn, that's big. Peace, Raid. That's what she said. Bang. It says big. Also, it's also mid. It's mid? What do you mean? Medium or mid? What's the that's mid's like it's shit. You suggested it. You had a budget. Ow. Raid says, anyways, see y'all later. Thank you so much for stopping by, Raid. Hope I can see you again. Goodbye, my friend. Hope I can see you on Thursday. Lone says, damn, that's big. What she said, yeah, that's bigger than my mid-sized case. says, okay, good. I feel like it's bigger than normal. I feel like, I've also heard people who do reviews who are like, this is a big and heavy case. Granted, it's a tiny little Asian woman telling me about the case, but it may be a problem. But anyway, give me a minute. Raid beat me to that joke. Red says, I'd be careful with a temporary. The temporary. Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing when I was leaning against my body. I was like, oh god, I'm just trying to be very careful with glass. But yes, it is big. Also, what's good, Rasta, over at the Twitch? What's good, Rasta? Hopefully having a lovely day. Catch up. I mostly enjoyed that from that. But your definition of it. I have cord organized SSDs. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is not dead. No, it's not, but it's fucking been on life support for 5 years. So sure. Fluff says, I've seen gameplay showcase. It's barely an original game. That's what I thought too. I thought it started off being really unique, and I think Ubisoft does what Ubisoft does, and it's like, yeah, but who is this for? This is for what? These are all new things, and you're like, Ubisoft. That's kind of the point. We want to make something that people can connect with. It's different. No, we want it to have some connecting thread, which I get. Rasa says, Grin. Are you ready in 5 days for the Game Awards? Ooh, that's a good thing we could talk about, Ross. Give me a minute. I'm going to try to catch up and chat, and then we'll get to that. I've seen the original showcase. What Fluff said is just Far Cry. The original Avatar game was great. Was great, though. The an underrated gem. Yeah, I watched a video for talking about it. It looked neat. It looked very cool, especially with the multiple paths you could play. Also, I ordered more stuff during Cyber Monday. Nothing big, just some manga. Says Lone. I had done any reading for the past couple of months, and I thought to myself, let's order some books. That's a good idea. It's a really good idea. What do you call it, Lone? I cried this yesterday from a manga, and it's been a minute since I even teared up, which might have been why I teared up. But it was this. It's actually a manga that I didn't know I was reading it, because these damn YouTube videos are so good about like being like, hey, here's a cool premise, and then you're like, cool, let me look at that video, and then like I go read the manga as soon as 10 minutes in. But what got me? It's basically it's a manga. It's an anime coming out. It's the anime coming out that I was actually not that excited for. I thought it sounded pretty generic, but it's basically I got reincarnated and all I have is this lousy appraisal skill, is what it's called. I think it's the same anime, but shit got me tearing up. There's this, because the premise is basically this kid. He's like a prince or something like that. He's reincarnated into he's like a prince, but he has like no good stats, essentially. The only thing he has is like his eye of appraisal. So he basically goes into town, and he finds like this, what essentially is like a slave that is not only just a slave, but they're an immigrant and they're like horribly treated in this kingdom. So, but he sees that this person has like the best stats in the world. So he's like, hey, why don't you come be my caretaker, my servant, so to speak, and I'll give you a good life, all that stuff. And he convinces his dad. It's just very sweet, but that's basically the whole premise, is like him finding these people that would basically have a high degree of loyalty to him, because this is something his dad points out, is like if you're good about seeing people's potential, because they don't know that he has an appraisal skill, then it makes you can basically make a dragon. Like you make a dragon that will eat you one day, that will kill you, that will backstab you, that will hurt you. So it's important to find the right kind of people that will be loyal to you and take care of you and not forget what you did for them, that kind of stuff. Anyways, there's this damn moment in the book where this kid who's treated like shit, not treated like shit. He's like the son of this hunter family, and he has these two older brothers that are fucking brilliant. They're so good. They're fantastic. But he basically is like a shut-in. He doesn't have anything good going on, and the main character comes into this hunting family and sees that these his older brothers have like they're basically like A rank. Like if you were to classify how good they are, A rank. They got some potential, but nothing absurd. And then they find this, like, they talk about how shitty this kid is, and then the main character sets his eyes on him, and he sees that he has like an S rank in intelligence and an S rank in strategy. So he's like, I want you to be my apostle, or whatever it's called, like my person who's under me. So he ends up basically, it's just this beautiful moment of like this kid who was, his family kind of threw him away a little bit. Not threw him away, but like just didn't expect anything from him. This person comes into his life and says like, no, dude, you don't even realize. You are going to be the most incredible person on this whole kingdom. Let me show you. And then you find out that they're like, the family really loved the shit out of him. And they just were really worried about him. And there's just this touching moment where this dad is basically trying to get him to go with this prince kid, get his younger son to go with this prince kid, and he's telling him like, you know, I don't want nothing to do with you, because he knows that he doesn't want to leave, because but it's just a sad moment of like a dad and a son, and the son knows what his dad's doing, and the dad is just trying to push his son away so that he can have a better life, and it's just fucking ripped me up a little bit. And they do it in such a good way where like fucking like lock in at the tears streaming down the face, and you're just like, fucking god damn it. And they do such a good job of like showing you both of their perspectives, and you full well know how much they deeply love each other. And it's just fucking heart-wrenching in a beautiful way. It was a good cry. It was like, that's tough. But at the same time, I needed to cry, so that's good. We'll talk about the game awards in a minute, Rasta. But I'm happy you're reading some manga alone. Sorry to go on such a tangent. I wouldn't be surprised if the map for Avatar was something, just a repurposed Far Cry 6. Yeah, and that's another reason why I'm not very excited for Avatar. It just looks like Far Cry 6. I mean, it's kind of neat that it's an alien world, but I'm sorry, I just don't trust Ubisoft to, like, they need to prove to me again that like, you can be given an amazing premise, and then you can, like, actually make use of that premise. None of them have shown that. Like, the last game that they did that with is Blood Dragon. But, like, you can be given an absurdist premise and hit it out of the park and keep adding to the madness, instead of it just being like, oh, well, here's this alien planet where you're like these green people, and you can basically integrate with all things like trees, living organisms, other plants. You have arrows, you have a beast that you can tame, you have massive traversal, and I'm almost certain it's going to be whistle, summon your bird, go to a camp, go to an outpost, kill the camp, kill the outpost. get some shit, maybe go to your tribe. Hey, you can now level up the bow if you want. Now you can shoot a little bit harder. You do this for fucking 20 hours on repeat. Yeah. The one thing that would have been really cool to me is to be able to pilot. Like, a way cooler premise is if you were a person, if you were like a tiny human in a world of these giant fucking blue people, and you had to get into fucking mechs to survive and shit. That'd be rad. That'd be like, it's at least a more of an interesting, like, us against, like, there's like some sort of survival to it. There's like some more tension to it, rather than you're like, nah, you're just the person in these streets who always grew up here, and there's these random assholes who think they can come in here. Not today. Hit him with an explosive arrow. Everyone dies. You move on. Yes. Okay. Maybe you fight a big mech that has a health bar, and you kill and you shoot more bullets at it, and the health bar goes down, and then you've won. And yes. And yes. It's such a game. It's such a shame they chose Ubisoft to make the Avatar. Dude, I fucking hate that Avatar is now synonymous with Avatar. I hate that Avatar: The Last Airbender is not the because whenever someone says Avatar, I'm like, oh no, it's talking about alien fucking green aliens. Shit. Oh man, does anyone else feel that? Whenever I see Avatar, I'm like, oh. Did I not hear about there like a VR or not a VR a game that's about like Avatar: Last Airbender? You can choose whatever fucking race you want or whatever like affinity. I can't speak. The fucking element that you want. There's fun like Avatar things where you can bend magic and shit. No, none of that. Instead, it's green people. It's green people in a forest, and it's just like a fucking jungle. It's the same jungle shit that you'd see in the Amazon, except maybe you got some weird glowing plant. Guess what? You'd see that in the Amazon too. I don't know. Hello, Morrow. Sorry for yelling at you as soon as you came in. I think it's Engine Monster usually also in house, but it's pretty much a similar. Yeah. Yep, they did skill trees in. For Suicide Squad, Lone says yes, they did skill trees in a sense where. It's like Borderlands, where each character gets 3 skill trees. Ooh, that could be huge. Actually, I don't mind that. I wonder what they kind of would be for each character. There's got to be like leaks for the skill trees. I probably will look into that. See what the homeless man, who I want to play in that Suicide Squad game, is going to be. Ubisoft also made for first Avatar game ran. Oh, I know. So it's more like a shame that Ubisoft has won that downhill. Red said, oh, did you enjoy Mirage, Fluff, or do you not play it? Red says it's fair, but Ubisoft got back when... I was about to say, there was an era of Ubisoft who also made Brotherhood and Assassin's Creed Revelations and shit. So, or Assassin's Creed 2, I should say. Alone says, also, I was surprised to see a lot of melee. Well, that's good to hear. I know Fluff was hyped about Suicide Squad having some melee, especially with a Shark Boy. A lot of melee stuff. Like, I wonder if melee builds will be viable. I hope so. You think so? At least for the Shark Boy, they have to be. Give me a sec, everyone on the Twitch chat. We'll catch up in a minute. I'm almost at the end, I think. Similar to how Disney 10-year contract with EA for Star Wars games and things like that. Yes. Don't Starve just had DLC and such. I don't think that qualifies as live service. Are we talking about Don't Starve Together? There's a difference between Don't Starve and then Don't Starve Together. Don't Starve Together is 110% a live service game. At least I think. I know there's new characters being added to that thing. I think for a while what they did was they did Don't Starve DLC where they added Reign of Giants and another one. I can't think of what the other one was called, but there was another DLC. But then they made Don't Starve Together, which I almost am certain is they add new bosses constantly. They add new characters constantly. They add new, so much so that I think it just entirely controls. It's now what the game is basically like. They've kind of left Don't Starve Together or Don't Starve behind a little bit, and now they've just kept it with Don't Starve Together. live service games have reoccurring fees, premium currency, battle passes. Yeah, that to me, I feel like is fair. I think that definitely fits. Don't Starve Together. No, maybe not Don't Starve, but Don't Starve to. But also, it's weird because Don't Starve Together benefits from Don't Starve benefits from Don't Starve Together because they build up like assets and big updates, and then they kind of port it to that as well. Fluff says affordable price range. Anything larger gets quite. But yeah. Well, you could also just get 2 of the other ones, right? 2 4 terabytes of SSD would be pretty good. No, I was not. I was talking about 10 terabytes of hard drive, just normal hard drive, like not SSD. Just shit to throw like some files in there just to keep them maybe kind of. If they die, it's fine. But that kind of thing. Reddit said he was off to bed. As far as No Man's Sky, I recently saw something. Devs said that they are making money purely from the game's sales. People are still buying No Man's Sky often. It seems far good a reason. IMO. Yeah, again, it's never that though, right? I think it's the difference between like you're getting money that can keep you afloat for 2 years and you can support your dev team for 2 years, which is pretty good. Or you can make one choice that will set up your dev team for 10 years and you can do bigger projects. The issue is that almost always it doesn't stop at just that. It doesn't stop at making a couple of cute skins every 3 months and then spending all your time making free content for players. It almost never ends that way, even though that would probably be the best optimization for content, I think. But yeah. I think I'm caught up, finally-ish. Nope. Damn, that was big. Over time of the thing. Love says, well, good news is likely won't need to replace that. Yeah. Well, oh, Fluff. I thought the same thing, Fluff. I thought the same thing. And then Reddit's been a Discord messaging me being like, okay, wait. But like, when you have the chance, upgrade the case. And I'm like, Red, it's a big case. I think it's more than I'll need. And then he's like, no, wait, this is case. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Red, this was like a $200 case. So this might be a $300 case. I'm not sure about that, man. I get Red makes a good value proposition for the other case. It just looks really good too. But to me, as far as like I've always had shitty cases, or like pretty compared to this is the first nice thing I've owned. Okay, it's PC, maybe. Fluff says, King Space says, I was in Let It Die chat when you used. Oh, that's so sweet, King. I appreciate you popping in there. Hopefully, give some of our VR content to check, even though it may not be for you. I understand, but also. Mario says, can I ask you why you stopped playing Let It Die? You actually made me try it out. I know, Mario. The reason why I chuckled is because a person already asked the same question a couple at the very beginning of the stream, which is okay. My whole shtick for that is basically we played Let It Die for 2 years. I did every single thing that I wanted to do in that game. Everything else was stuff that I got a lot of value out of giving people a really good answer to the various problems in the game. I got to the point where there were no more good answers. That doesn't mean there weren't questions, but just the answers to those questions were awful, like beating Red Steel or beating those Forcemen or going to Tengeku. And all the answers I found is I wouldn't have been satisfied if I were to hear them, so I just kind of stopped doing that. And I also there was just nothing to play. So unless I was going to play the same level over and over again, I just kind of stopped. And I have a hard time going back and like playing stuff that I've already played. Like I rebeat Let It Die like 3 times, and things like that. And the reason why I don't go back and play it with like right now there's new content is because one, I just don't know if I'm as interested in the game anymore. Like I'm so enchanted, at least right now, Mario, by things like VR that to me it's so much more beautiful, exciting, and unique when I can make videos on that and when I can share those experiences, especially with my stream. Like I was so excited to see that game yesterday. You never know when you start up a VR game, it could be really shitty. But that game yesterday I thought was really, really cool. In fact, I thought it would be one of the VR games that if Fluff ever got like a discount on a Oculus, I know he has the old Oculus, which hopefully would still count, but I just thought it was like, this is the VR game made for Fluff. And it's very D&D like in a way. It's very like customizable. You customize your base kind of thing in a way too. Also be very much for Carthage, but I do think Fluff is also into D&D. It's the 180 case. Unscrew, remove many things in order to remove the motherboard tray. The 190 case is far simpler to remove the motherboard tray and just slides out. I mean, I don't think it's that complicated. I thought it, like when I looked at the board, when I looked at the thing, it was just 4 screws, I thought. You just pull out those 4 screws and then the motherboard case just slips right on out. But do you think I should take the motherboard case out and then do all the shit I need to do on it, or do you think I should do it in the PC? I feel like it's gonna be hard either way. Maybe I could work around it. Maybe that's the catch. I don't know. Fluff says, for a personal status update, going to try finishing up Miles Morales. After I do, I intend to start my goal of playing through the Yakuza like Dragon Games. Fucking good luck. Those games are not short by any means. They do look fun though. Seeing as there's 3 more LAD games I haven't picked up, Golden Infinity Wealth soon. I'm about to say, these are all the Yakuza games? Fuck me, it is a lot. On a side note, guys, the Game Awards is close. What do you guys think is the game of the year? Now, granted, we're not talking about game of the year as far as, like, the game of the year in the last 10 years. We had this talk beforehand, but, like, there's, like, S-tier games that kind of make the criteria for games that were so good. In the last 10 years, they're, like, super unique and fantastic. Things like Minecraft would be on that S-tier list. Just this year, what do you think would be an S-tier game? We're not going to debate. You can pick 3. I think Baldur's Gate, never played it, has to be up there for one of the best games this year. I can't think of one. I think there was one other game that we played that I thought was fucking awesome. I think you gotta put fucking Hi-Fi Rush on there. Hi-Fi Rush I can still think of, and I still think that is fucking hella unique. I haven't even played anything close to it. I still remember it vividly. It was fun as fuck. Hi-Fi Rush I think should be on there. Maybe not win. Maybe not win Game of the Year, but should be on that list for sure. And yeah. But what about everyone else? What do you guys think? I feel like I'm missing the game. You guys usually throw your answers out, and I'm like, oh, right. I forgot about that game. I know some people are going to say Starfield, and I think that's fine. I don't disagree entirely with that perception. I think it's Bethesda has almost destroyed themselves in that way, where like a game, they're like, if you were to compare Starfield to all of their previous other games, comparatively, it just to me wasn't quite enough. You know, not to say that it's a bad game. I still think it's a fun game, and that's fine. Especially for people who knew what it was when it was about to launch. Like, they never really lied about what it was going to be, which is a very spacey game, etc. Yeah. Fluff says, not to mention the 2 Judgment games. That'll be 13 games at a minimum. Good luck, Fluff. And you're getting more hours? Fucking brutal. Fucking brutal. Last Airbender, Korra. I hate that. Don't bring up Korra. It's not the same. It will always be Last Airbender and Last Airbender prequel. Or no, a sequel. I hate the Korra. Legend of Korra? Shut up. Shut up. I don't hate women. Okay, I just don't like that it's... I don't even know what people are talking about when they say Korra, except I kind of do. Where... There. I haven't finished it. Mirage is fine for repurposed Valhalla DLC. That's what I figured. To be fair, I also have a lot of Valhalla left to complete. There's a core game plus all the DLC. Yeah, I didn't even think about that DLC stuff. They go ham on that too. Yeah, I thought it was The Last Airbender 2, Grin. When I heard an Avatar game, I was in the works, but no... It's blue people. Thank you, Lauren. I'm about to say, I'd be fucking juiced. I'd be so excited if there was a first-person Avatar game, even a third-person Avatar game. What was like an RPG? Like, man, Avatar has one of those games where it's like, it's so quaint and it's not quaint. I don't know. How, it just has. It's like it's not like extreme. Like it's not like fucking Dragon's Dogma where there's dragons and all kinds of fucking hard, crazy shit there might be. But it's like it's got that perfect different enough to where I want to jump in. It's also like a Japanese aesthetic, so I'm kind of like, yes, also. point is, it just got a world that I really would want to experience, even though the world I don't think is as flashy as certain fantasy games, you know? But just, it's got the right frequency, I think. Also, I think it just print money as well, so I don't know why they haven't done that yet. Fluff says, only premium DLC for Don't Starve Together seems to be bundle of skins and characters themselves are free. Yeah, but my whole point is that for me, a live service game it requires some sort of monetary thing. So like something that you can dump money into. And as much as you might be able to buy like what is maybe considered on Steam a DLC pack, that doesn't change the fact that I think almost every other couple weeks I see them release a new bundle of character skins for the, not even character skins, there's like chest skins, there's like crafting skins and stuff like that, which you can buy like right now and not necessarily in a bundle, I think. So to me, I think I would still fall into the live service element because they're continuing to give people things to that they could buy that could therefore support their live service initiatives, which is like making content. Hamlet was the one I was thinking about as well, Fluff. Fluff says, last being up to 2018, but yeah. Red says, yeah, I get it, Grin. Is such a damn shame about Canada versus USD pricing. That 901 Pro case is $300. Oh, but it's $500 Canadian. Yeah, that's the thing that's also kind of sad. I'm like, this PC is like a $2,000 PC. And then I'm like, it's actually $300. For me, for a thing for Fluff, it was like $150. I'm like, for me, it was almost $3,000. Great. Oh, the cold north. Goes to show they've sort of forgotten the original Don't Starve is still advertised 5-year DLC in the main. Yeah. Fluff says, I highly doubt Grin will need a new case for a while. It's the last thing he should probably upgrade. Yeah, I feel like monitor. Well, for me, it might be a capture card, but I need to do more research on seeing if I actually need that to do good things, or if the point of having a streaming PC makes it so that you don't need a capture card. I don't know. But yeah. And I might need a lav mic, unfortunately, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's not get too crazy, all right? New thing, and it's a last thing. I should have upgraded unless it's something there. Also, Lone says, also, travel feels so good and satisfying in Suicide Squad. Each character has its own travel ability, along with the generic one, like jumping, sliding. Oh, okay, I didn't know this. It feels like it's when I see the gameplay, running definitely feels like Sunset Overdrive. Okay, I was about to say, when I see the gameplay, I thought, man, to me it just looks like very, especially Harlequins, with like the swinging and shit, it feels very much like a Sunset Overdrive. So I can only imagine. Fluff says, chances are they'll inherit my dad's Quest 2 if they get a Quest 3. Ooh, I hope so, Fluff. The game is called Barbaria, by the way. I think you should play that. Can I ask you to... is boring AVP? Rasta says, only game I like from Ubisoft is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Nothing. You don't like Assassin's Creed 2 or Revelations? What the fuck wrong with you? Or Brotherhood, I should say. And Don't Starve Together is worth you getting 2 copies for one price. Yeah, I agree. I agree. For increasing hours, allowing me to afford it. Yeah. Although I do lack a lot of space to accommodate for streaming. I don't have a lot of space either. I have maybe slightly more than my wingspan. Like this, slightly more than my wingspan. It's rough. You learn to kind of move. In fact, that's kind of the only problem with me is I move with my joystick, so I'm kind of like doing this instead of like, oh my god, look at this. And so I'm like, which is kind of a little, doesn't sound as cool, but you know. Fluff says, I'm not setting a finish by 2020-50 or any sort of deadline. Yeah, for the games. Yeah, good idea. Red says, perhaps I'm missing some info. It depends. If the motherboard tray is easier to remove than I'm aware of, for both the 8.1K, I could be all. I feel like it's more possible that I'm fucked up and not understanding something. Then the parts. Put the parts in. Yeah. I mean, from what I can see, it looks like it's 2 screws, or no, 3 screws maybe. No, maybe it's 2 screws. I don't know. I gotta check. I thought I'd seen a video of a person just being like, "Yep, it's just this," and then you just pull it out. Granted, I do think, yeah, it might get bit by the fact that there's fans on it, which I know probably just unplug and plug in. I just still think I might just do it whilst it's in the fucking PC PC box. Spider-Man 2 is my... oh, I forgot Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2, is that on the list? I feel like there's this weird thing where, like, when... It's almost like a punishment for games coming out too late in, like, the Christmas season. But I feel like sometimes they don't get thrown into the lot. But I think Spider-Man 2 would make an interesting contender. I feel like I'd give it to... this is me being petty, but I'd rather give it to... I feel like Sony should be on the list. I feel like they should win Game of the Year... Spider-Man should win Game of the Year in some category, but not the main Game of the Year. I feel like if it was between the Spider-Man 2 or Baldur's Gate, I feel like I gotta give it to Baldur's Gate. Just Baldur's Gate, Sony already won one last year. Okay, and I think Baldur's Gate did do more unique things. As much as I do think Spider-Man 2 seems fucking rad, but still. My personality... Flex says my personal top 3 for Game of the Year would be... GOTY? What's that? Game of the Year? Is that what it is? Game of the Year? Would be Baldur's Gate 3, Hollow Cure. Okay, this is a HoloLive game or something. And Remnant 2 or Robo Quest. Oh, I seen that Robo Quest game, by the way, Fluff. You sent me. That looked awesome. I totally think that, like, that's such a shame that I'd never seen that game at all. I thought it looked like a game that I think would have taken off. It just hit the right timing where nothing was going on. That game could get some time to shine, but yeah. Those are all interesting games. Remnant, as much as I think Remnant is awesome, I feel like Game of the Year requires just like fucking, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking chest, hard as shit, and I feel like Baldur's Gate did that. I didn't even play Baldur's Gate. I played Remnant. Remnant's awesome. I can't describe how, like, Remnant's fucking sweet. I don't know if it has that, like, fucking, I'm gonna drop you. You know what I mean? I saw some gameplay of the Yakuza, and some of the moves look brutal. I saw this one clip where the main character takes a box of nails, takes a handful of nails, and then shoves them into the guy's mouth, and then adds salt to the wound. He kicks him in the above right here, right? Or does he kick him in the face? I think I've seen something like that where he's like, "Good," and then he goes, "Good," and cracks him in the chin, and like, he's dead. He's already dead. Please. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I feel like the Yakuza games are, I would imagine, similar to yesterday. I would imagine the Yakuza games are much more funner to play than sometimes they look. Because I think they look interesting, but they don't look like... I don't feel like I need to play them. Like, when I see Dragon's Dogma, I'm like, I want to fucking be the one controlling that. I want to play it. But I don't know if they look as good as they feel. And that game I think we were playing yesterday definitely was that way. I looked at the gameplay, looked pretty neat. But I think it looked cool, but I think it just to feel with that Brawlhalla game, or I always say Brawlhalla, it's Barbaria is what it's called. What are your top games, Lone? Also, Super, what are your top games? Oh, Zelda. I forgot. Yeah, Zelda or... That's tough. It's... shit. If it's Zelda or Baldur's Gate, I feel like it's going to be Zelda, just because it's popular. You know what I mean? And it's not that Zelda isn't amazing. I just, like, if we're, like, yeah. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's really I think it's really close, I think. I just think that, like, Zelda is really good about doing things, like, a lot of things really well, but I don't know, outside of, like, the merging of weapons that Zelda did, that was like extremely different. I think it just refined what the previous game did while adding more stuff on top, which is fucking awesome. That's like what every sequel should aim to do, honestly. But I also just don't know almost any game in the last 5 years that has done what Baldur's Gate has done, which is just like, here's a fucking ton of replay value, here's a ton of different story quests, here's the RPG that everyone wanted, except me, because I like first-person or third-person games where I feel like I'm actually being able to like react. But yeah. But Zelda's a really good one. Zelda, I feel like if we're going to go with optics, I feel like Zelda will probably win, which is... I get it. If it was any other year, I would be happy that Zelda would have won, because I genuinely think the previous game, or the game looked awesome. Like, if I had a Switch and I had some time, sure, I would love to play it, but yeah. I just feel like Zelda's such a kind of like a mainstream popular game that it'll probably win. But who cares what other people think? What are you most liking, or would most choose? I saw some gameplay of the user games. I was alone said. Well, Fluff says, remember, Kira doesn't, Kiryu doesn't kill. I feel like I should have read chat quicker. Insert montage of all you see for the Yakuza games. Yeah, no one technically dies, but similar to Batman, boy oh boy, there's a reason why Batman wears a mask, and it's because of the legal ass whooping he would get by all of Gotham people taking medical comp of any kind. Okay. Super says, oh, Fluff, I completely forgot Remnant 2. Yeah, Remnant 2 was good. I'm only one that, like, Remnant I feel like is an A+ game, but I don't know if it's quite S tier. You know what I mean? It's like game of the year has to be some S tier shit, like God of War last year. Like God of War, fuck me, dude. S tier shit. Story was a banger. The combat got boosted like crazy. It was banger. The fact that they kept giving you different characters to integrate with and play. Gameplay was constantly getting like reshifted when it started to get boring. Fucking loved it. Also, just the story. Like the story. Normally, I don't go so hard on the story, but like I was so happy with the way that game ended, the way that game built things up. A fucking masterpiece. Like I wish the people who made the story of God of War just wrote like a Game of Thrones-esque fantasy TV show. With like a shit ton of budget, all that stuff. Because I watched the fuck out of it. There's a mod for the one of the Yakuza games simply called Silly Mod, and it has some really absurd finisher animations. Really? Love says, I haven't caught up on the prior streams, so I'll see if I can check it out. I just need to check the one out. I feel like it's a lot, especially just 4 shifts. Don't worry about it, but the previous stream we did yesterday about Barbaria, I think you might find it interesting. Fluff says, pretty sure I have even less viable space than that. Oof. Okay. Well, you know why you can only sit in a chair. Like that's a big thing, honestly. Most VR people can't play for 4 hours standing because there's just a lot of movement and it's very tiring. Contradictory for you being able to do like feats of strength, like swimming or anything like that. You'd be surprised how exhausting holding a static position like a gun is. How exhausting that is compared to like swimming or running. But sitting VR is a big thing too. So as long as you can sit in a chair and pseudo reach, you're good, or you're better than not. Fluff says, pretty sure I have. Red says, okay, remove the motherboard tray from the 802 case. Does not seem that bad. Yeah. Okay. What's it? Okay, I was going to say. Just some screw. Okay, yeah. Then remove the fan cable. Yeah. I thought it removed the fan cable. Is it that necessary? Is it that much of a pain? What is the why? Why would you remove the case, and what would be the thing with it? Because I don't really see many issues, especially with the case that I got has like plenty of little holes I can stick cords through and shit. Maybe it's like the fact that you're trying to, because I feel like it'd be much weirder to kind of like get everything plugged in and then plug it into the thing. Also, before Fluff probably has to like dip, I was gonna ask Fluff, do I have to do the thing that like Linus Tech Tips said, where you like take out your motherboard, you power it, you plug in one of the things, I'm not sure if it's I think it's your graphics card, I think is what it is, and then you run it into your PC, do I have to do that? I mean, I get it's like a thing to make sure your shit's not going to blow up or not blow up. It's just like it's working, so you don't like go through the trouble of plugging everything in and then realize your fucking graphics card shit itself, or your motherboard's somehow hurting or something like that. I could do it. It didn't seem like it was that bad to do. I will say though, Linus Tech Tips, that like how to build your PC video is awesome. It's also like it makes it kind of terrifying, where it's just like, buy a $40 computer mat, get this little like electric shock wrist thing, and I'm like, what? He starts giving you new fears, and I'm like, oh. And then I watch most people who do put together PCs. Nah, that's the thing. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying that, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to buy a fucking $40 mat, man. I'm already out a lot of money. I'll do what Fluff said. Take out them socks and just try to not make a lot of unnecessary movement. So yeah, remove the robo tray. Put all the parts you need on it, like the CPU, RAM, GPU, NVIDIA SSDs, etc. Then install the MOMU's tray back into the case. I feel like that's more fucky for me. Like, just the idea that I'm gonna have to like take this thin piece of metal that has all this shit bolted to it and then like slide it into another piece of metal rather than just hold my motherboard, screw in some screws, which you're already doing when it's tipped off on its back. So, my top 3/4 above are all 2023 stream releases. Since HoloCure is technically early access, then I guess I could drop that for Baldur's Gate 3, Remnant 3, and Robot Recall. You could have multiple, it's fine. 3 was not a must. It was just kind of a good baseline. But yeah. Fluff says, otherwise, I also really love Soulsborne Survivor, Soulstone Survivor, but it's just has its 1 year anniversary, so I don't think that counts. Yeah, I feel like indie games are like, I don't know. It'd be really cool to see Hi-Fi Rush win the indie scene, or like win the game of the year, but I feel like it'd be better for it to win just a category that's also pretty broad, like best indie game. Yeah, I think Zelda probably will. Yeah, I feel like it's. I forgot Life of P. I feel like Life of P was pretty unique. I feel like I don't know. I think it should win an award, like aesthetic or music maybe. But I personally never played it. It just seemed like it did a lot of cool things differently. Mortal Kombat, Spider-Man 2. These are Loans Game of the Year. Mortal Kombat, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4 remake. Ooh. Can that be a thing? Can a remake be Game of the Year? That's kind of shit. That's kind of bullshit. What if there already won Game of the Year back in the day, and then you just won twice, and you're like, fuck off. We already knew it was a good game. But I've heard a lot of people be like crazy over the moon for Resident Evil. I don't know if I've heard more people excited for Resident Evil than Zelda. So I still think Zelda probably would win generally, but I respect them picks. Remnant 2 could also be argued. I don't think Zelda is going to win a Game of the Year. It's great for sure, but it's too similar to Breath of the Wild. I would like it if Baldur's Gate 3 won. I just feel like it's definitely not I don't think it would be I think if you were to poll like every single person who's played the games, I think most people would say Zelda. Like, yeah. However, I do also hope that Baldur's Gate 3 wins, because I think it's a really unique game that deserves as much praise as it possibly can. So hopefully we get other games like it. But I also think Zelda did. I don't know. Zelda was one of those games that I would have loved if somebody took my favorite game like Fable and did like everything that the first one did, it nailed. But then it added like a new mechanic that changed the way you can interface with the game, and then also added more shit like housing systems and all that shit. Like, I would have loved that. Like, that's to me my ideal when it comes to a sequel, is deliver to me exactly what I've already gotten, so that I'm not losing stuff in the process of getting new stuff, and then give me new stuff. Hopefully new stuff that actually feels like enough, that it was warrants a 2 and not a DLC, you know? Remnant 2 could also be argued to be in that list for you. Red says, I don't think Zelda. Oh, he's gonna do. I also. Lone says, oh, I have a question because I saw this in some point on Instagram. Would you rather fight Arkham Batman or PlayStation 5 Spider-Man? Arkham Batman. What's the context? We're dying, or like, what is the context? Am I just me? Because you're dead. There's one choice here, and it's Spider-Man. Because Batman is a billionaire who can find you. Okay, so if it's your capacity to fight or hide, because you're dying either way. There's no fight in either of these situations. You're dead. Batman can level a fucking 300 set prison guy with tats all over his face who just got raped in the showers. Okay, we can't say the R word. I didn't mean to say that. Shit. Who just got diddled in the shower? Whatever. Point being, it's brutal. It's brutal. It's too much. But yeah, the stream is now demonetized. I just realized. God damn it. God damn it. Well, now it's also demonetized. I'm sure that's just too many. That's too much aggression. Well, these streams don't really average a high monetization rate anyway. But anyways, point is I would choose if it's like how long can I get a little bit more survivalness. I need the context. I keep going back in my head. Are we fighting? Am I trapped in a cage with both of these people, or is it like they're coming to hunt you? Because Spider-Man, I don't fucking think he's got that much detective skill. All right, Arkham, Batman in general, in whatever lore you want to go by, is touted as being the world's greatest detective or some bullshit. So he's finding you. And he has no qualms with torturing you. Peter Parker, I can at least get concussed by getting thrown against a wall. There's a chance I get like attached to a wall, and maybe some amazing civil servant can rip me down and take me to prison, whatever the fuck it is. But there's also a chance he just yeets me off a fucking building, which is rough, but hey, at least quick death. Spider-Man, I don't have much faith that I'm not going to get every bone in my body broken and maybe tortured, all right? Because as much as he doesn't kill, I don't think he's not above torturing people. Okay, yeah. I have a question. Well, what are you guys choosing? Well, we need Lone to specify the context. Are we in a cage, or are they hunting you? I feel like it makes more sense if they're hunting you, because either or we're dying in like split second. I would choose Peter Parker because at least I would get. There's a chance I could survive, essentially. And I only say there's a chance I can survive because if one of them tries to punch you, you're dead. But they could theoretically like throw you and like smash you against a very hard wall, maybe killing you, but there's a chance. And then Peter Parker would just put you there. What do you call it? Also, Spider-Man, the way he puts people up is he hangs them by their fucking legs. So the blood would rush to your face and you'd fucking inevitably die. So at least Peter Parker's like, fuck it, I'll just tie you like this. I'll tie you so your blood doesn't die from you standing. Stupid. Stut down. He's about the lethal character in the goddamn Superverse. But yeah, he's like, he's no killing people. I'd rather fight. Okay, here we go. I would consider Remnant 2 an S tier as it was fantastic co-op experience. I feel better about that. I feel like if you were to say Remnant 2 is an S tier co-op game, I would say yes. But to say like Remnant 2 beats other RPGs in the space, and it's not just that. It's like it's the collective of all it is. But I don't know. I just feel like with like a lot of other games coming out with like the amount of content that even games like Starfield had, and the amount of content that Baldur's Gate has, but with the co-op thing, I 100% lock in that. I feel like Remnant will be, for like 5 years going, an S tier co-op game. You know what I mean? Like it deserves one of the Hall of Fames for its tier or its thing that it delivered. I'd rather fight PS5 Spider-Man, Arkham Batman. Would make short work of anyone. Yeah, I was about to say. I'm going to agree with it. Also, yeah. Oh, wait, no. So I'd rather fight PS5. Yeah, Spider-Man. Yeah, okay. Because Spider-Man, I just don't know. I don't feel like he'd. Well, one, I think he gets punished by hurting civilians in some way. Or no, that's it. If we are fighting Spider-Man, we basically will always get up, because I think I've seen that too, or we'll just basically lay down. So we don't actually die in the Spider-Verse. We just kind of like take a knee and we're okay. In the Batman universe, I'm almost certain when you're getting run over, they're not getting back up, and you get tattled on, like, don't run over people and shit. A Spider-Man would take 8 hits minimum before I'm KO'd. Fluff says, now PS5, Mary Jane is another. That's a good point. Like, I'd rather this Mary Jane. And she's a playable character in that world. Some would say she is Spider-Man for a couple seconds. Okay. Those people would be psychotic. Red says, I enjoy BOTW, but my favorite Zelda game is still Wind Waker. Yeah, but that's nostalgia. Also, maybe it's either nostalgia or it's like the time. Like, at the time, there was not a lot of games like it of any kind, so it just shines so much brighter because the environment just didn't have anything like that, which is good. It's not mandatory, says Fluff, but it's good idea to make sure things are working. Oh, I see. Just to do the motherboard thing? Yeah, I'll try to manage it. Rasta says, I feel like Spider-Man would Fortnite dance on your corpse. I don't think you're wrong. What do you call it? It would be a quick death. It would be like, don't Spider-Man. There's a chance you get concussed and knocked out and like attached to a wall, or hung up like this, like, and just A Spider-Man, I don't think it'd be arguable that you'd be dead, but it'd be a quick death is the point. So maybe if you're like, oh, I'm gonna die anyway, fuck it. I still think Peter Parker, there's a shred of a chance that you survive. There's a small shred. You just gotta hope that you're not in your balconies or some shit. I would just drop him in the fetal position and be like, all right, I hope. No, you have to do that, but yeah, it's good test. Okay, so you don't have to do that, but it's a good test. Okay, I'll do the test. It doesn't take much to convince me, to be honest. Also, I have a weird gaming story, says Lone. Doritos made a software called Doritos Silent, which cancels the sound of you eating Doritos over the mic. What? Man, AI making everything too easy. Okay, some asshole company intern is like, I can do this thing. Like, do it, and he got paid nothing, but he just come up with this thing. Red says a removable motherboard tray will make doing the test even easier. That's true. I don't. The Linus Tech Tips thing didn't make it look hard. You just put it on top of the case that comes with the motherboard, and luckily it's the same case I actually got. I think. Actually, no, it wasn't the same motherboard, but yeah. Lone says it's oh, I clicked the goddamn button. It's compatible with all PCs that support co-gaming situation. That's so weird, so odd. Cool factoid though. RE4 remake are different enough games to be justified as game of the year. Yeah, we talk about it a lot, but like when a game can be really, really good, but does nothing new. And I feel like Resident Evil is the epitome of doing a lot. I don't know. It does do some new stuff. I don't know. I just feel like it's weird when a game is like it's 80% familiar, you know, and yet it like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just me, but I'm really, especially with this current state of games and everything's a remake and everything is like too scared to be different or to like be really different. I really want something to be different. I want something to show. To like have an anchor in something, like have it be a first-person FPS guns, but then add a twist. Like, okay, you're in a world, in a Western world that it's like all steampunkified, and you have like a weird virus, like you're a werewolf. It's kind of like that game that it was on the PS3 back in the day called like The Order 1996 or something like that. But make it a first-person. And make you have werewolf powers, and make it be an open world game where I can like run and conquer like the streets of London and shit. That'd be rad. I'll never get what I want, but I just like when you guys humor me and let me ramble about random shit. Never understand Nintendo fans, but honestly, Taken Kingdom does feel like Breath of the Wild 2.0. Really? I would agree if it didn't have so much other shit in it, like the housing system, the base building, the different. I think they added new maps, new puzzles. Yeah, like unless you want to get unless you want them to be on like a desert island, that might have helped the scene. But like I don't. Yeah. Fluff says. Fluff says never underestimate Nintendo fans, but oh no, that's what Fluff said. So that's what Fluff said. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it was a 2.0 for me, just because it added so much shit. Like, what is that fucking big ass 2.0? You know what I mean? Baldur's Gate 3 will be one of the most impactful games of this decade, regardless. Ooh, that's a big statement. I hope you're right. I hope it. I don't know. I hope I get a game like that that's first person. Oh shit. I'm still catching up. Wait, damn you, where did I leave off on? The post didn't give... Okay, Lone says, the post didn't give any context, so I would assume if you are in a common street thug going to toe-to-toe with him. But I'm me. I'm just having this like tag above my head that says street thug. I would run. I have confidence that I could go into a store and hide from Spider-Man, or I could go into like a public place and know that he's not gonna like, or have a better chance of him not just lighting me the fuck up. I have no hope if Batman is trying to come for me. Maybe if it's morning, I don't really see him pop off in the mornings. But it's not the point. It's the point that he eventually will find you. I feel like I could easily, like, go into a sewer drain. There we go, sewer drain, and just like stay there for a while, and like get my ass out of New York City. Because guess what? He doesn't leave. Arkham City seems like a fucking massive, like 5 cities on one fucking plane. It's crazy. New York City, I feel like I could get out of its effect, and I would just fuck off somewhere. I could survive. There's a chance. Okay. Arkham Knight, there is no chance. He will find you, and he will get you. Or he'll pay someone to get you, because he's a billionaire. Anyways, he has 1,000, like, disciples as well, so it's just, you're fucked. So badly. Well, what did you end up choosing, Lone? Your first initial one, not with me rambling about what I think. Fluff says, which is why Peter Parker only becomes the Punisher in a what-if scenario. Yeah. Red says, Remnant 2 is probably my game of the year, but I'm not finished Baldur's Gate 3 yet, but probably will not yeah, what to say. That's a good testament to the game and the amount of content that there is. There'll be 2 types of game of the year lists for me. Games that I've played this year and games that have released. Yeah, me too. That's most years. Most years I just. But also I always find I'm plugged into the gaming space. Like I know how good Baldur's Gate 3 is because I've watched a ton of videos of people playing it and talking about it. But yet I've never played it. So I always feel like I'm good about plugging into stuff like that. I think Fluff is also the same way. I'm sure Red is and Lone probably the same way. There are the 2 types of that. But Fluff says, but in my case, most of those games will overlap. Yeah. Red says, lol, yeah, MJ in Spider-Man 2 is very OP. Fluff says, Grin, I'm saying I'd rather fight Peter over Mary Jane. She's one-taps symbiote with a modified taser. What? Excuse me? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought, shit, okay, I didn't know that. That's so stupid. I don't hate women. I keep saying it. But I think, Peter Parker lay out here fucking killing, not beating the shit out of bad people all day. Mary Jane just like, you know what? Tasers are pretty lit. Okay. Didn't feel like you earned the power of it, but fucking sure. Supporting Web Boy. Fluff says, at least I die laughing. Against Peter, it... has witty... Yeah, it's true. It'd be a fun time, I think. Oh, my eye. Red says, it's not nostalgia. I genuinely would rather Windbreaker... Oh, I see. Okay. I love the water, ocean vibe with Wind... Oh, yeah. Okay, I see. So, yeah, I can see the vibe change. Or the scenery being something that would be a big difference for people. Fluff says, I do not take off Now another solo night incoming. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye, Fluff. Thanks so much for talking to me. Lone says, what you talking about, Grin? When you run everyone over in Arkham game, the Batmobile emits an electric field that concusses people back, which also might kill you. I'm not just saying. I'm waiting for the turn. I knew you were gonna get there. I was like, you're gonna like Mach fucking 50 down a fucking streetway. You're just like, yeah. I love the Arkham logic so much. It's by far the most. Yeah, there's like a force field. The static is military stops them. And are you good? Speak clearly with confidence, please. Oh, my eyes drying out. You need a battle royale featuring Arkham Batman, Insomniac Spider-Man, and Caillou. What? The three protagonists that don't kill. Who's that? Oh, that's what Fluff just said. The goddamn the goddamn character from that goddamn game. The Yakuza games, I think. Fluff is about to retreat into his box. Red says, did anyone here play Lair on PS3? I want a remake of that for PC. What is Lair? I have not. Maybe. Like Layers of Fear? Probably not. Super says, what's it about? Oh, Red. That's why I said Super says, no, but a remake, it was in Fallout New Vegas. That game was... Dude, I can't even fucking handle it. If there was a remake of Fallout New Vegas, there's a couple games that I would love a remake of. My selfish ones would always be Fable 2 and Shadows of the Damned. I would more want a sequel of Shadows of the Damned, but still. But New Vegas, dude, it's one of my favorite RPGs. The only thing is I hope they do like the Resident Evil effect for a remake rather than the like, oh, we just made it look pretty. I want them to actually add shit to it. Like if they added another DLC of New Vegas, I'd be fucking juiced. Also, it kind of makes sense for the fact that like New Vegas launched in kind of a broken state, so some people didn't actually give it a try. And now that Xbox owns Bethesda and Obsidian, it just makes sense that they would do both, you know, or that they would like that would be another smart money making scheme or thing to have on Xbox. But yeah, you have good taste, Super. I love New Vegas as well. Lone says, my choice was Spider-Man, Grin. To fight? Or to like, yeah. Because I would rather fight, to fight or to not fight. What is the content? Would you rather fight Arkham? So yeah, okay, same thing. You'd rather fight Peter Parker. I'm about to say, there's a chance. There's a chance we could survive when we're fighting Peter Parker. Also, like Fluff mentioned, we're getting our ass handed to us, but at least we're laughing because he's kind of cheeky and charming. Miles is one of those ones where like I don't have as much confidence in that I would survive because he has like fucking an electro punch, so I feel like your fucking organs are getting like cancer every punch you get. Also, the side thing, this is my GPU. This little guy. I should be really careful with this. So I'm trying to be hard to grab. This is my CPU. Look at the little guy. It's so small. It's a i7. I hope that is... I never asked you this, Red. Is this the same or slightly worse or better than my current... Sorry. Is that slightly better or worse or the same as my current CPU? Sorry for the dogs. Red says, yeah, the MJ stuff in Spider-Man 2 was very dumb. Rasta says, I feel like Spider-Man... Oh, right, read that. Lone says, and all I can think is the man's spine is shattered. If he's not dead, I have confirmed the man to be in a wheelchair. I mean, you can still survive. Wheelchair and I can move my body, or wheelchair and I'm all locked up. Because that's... Yeah. But if I can still move my body, I feel like, find some joy in life, etc. You can find joy in life. I feel like it'd be such a hard... I don't even think about it. It'd be such a perspective shift. Red says, YouTube layer PS3 real quick, Grin. Fine, we're winding down anyway. No memes today, unfortunately. We talked too much. We kind of made it up for yes last week, though. Yeah, last week I ended up taking my sweet ass. Oh, the internet gave out. Or in Orange, when Batman was younger and inexperienced and went too far, and he interrogated a guy by dangling from a 12-story building, and afterwards dropped him, and he didn't die because he landed. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah. What to say? Well, on Christmas, on a Christmas tree. Oh, I see. Huh. Weird. Jeez. Red says, it's far better than your... Oh, really? Awesome. Yeah. I was about to say, Red, I'm not sure if my eyes were just fooling me, but the my motherboard, it looks like, again, maybe it's just the way it looks, but it looks like the CPU is massive. Because my little CPU in here is like a little baby thing. But that one, like, the way the motherboard makes it look like it's fucking this big. Like, it's about the size of my whole goddamn eye. Like, it looks massive. I was like, Jesus. When I seen someone, like, installing a chip into that motherboard, it looked like a fucking massive chip. Faster, more effective, and more cores. Ooh! Ah! Alright, let me look at this thing, and then we'll call it. Oh, my back. Oh, my back. Ah. Oh, what is it called, Red? It's called... Ooh! It looks a wee bit scuffed. Oh, I remember this fucking game, Red. Oh shit, okay. All I needed to see was that one image and it sent me back. Holy shit, do you guys remember this fucking thing? I never beat this game, but I played it. I was too stupid to play it well. But yeah, I fucking remember that massive fireball that you could throw. This is one of those games that, like, I could never get behind the physics of controlling the fucking dragon. Because it was so weird, the way you control them, if memory serves. Also, there were so many effects like that where, yeah, also, like, 90% of the time you were trying to find this fucking dragon and get close to them. Holy shit. Oh, man, I can't believe this is such a blast from the past. I completely forgot about this, and I'm not sure if you guys remember it, too. I also remember I wish there was more on-ground gameplay, because I think they just make you super OP on the ground because you're barely ever on there. I thought you could jump off your thing and you looked rad. But yeah, this is I think this is why also I was so excited for Scalebound. Like, I remember this game, like, unlocked something where I'm like, dude, flying a dragon and, like, fucking really, like, owning the fucking skies in this way is so sick. I love it, dude. It's crazy. I never actually, I can't say I played the shit out of it. It was one of those games that, like, I don't know if you guys remember the thing, but, like, I got into games semi-young, so, like, there were always games that, like, I could play, but I never really knew what to do. Like, I didn't really pay attention to the objectives at all. I just kind of played and did my thing, and then I kind of left after 2 hours. But I just keep doing that. I remember I used to come back and play this game a lot, but I never really knew how to progress. I don't think it was really clear with the options. Also, back in the day, they didn't tell you shit about how to progress and what to do. But yeah, this would be cool to see. I'm not sure if I'd want a remake or anything like that. I want a game that takes the same idea. I want Scalebound. I always mention Scalebound, but it was kind of like, it to me would look very similar to this. But you could have any dragon you wanted. You could look and stylize your character you wanted. There was like punk rocker chicks with like headphones and shit you could have as well if you wanted to customize your character. It was co-op too. It was just everything that this was, but a little bit more oomph. But yeah, there was another dragon game that came out recently, Red. I'm not sure if you've seen it. I seen a person playing it a while ago. It looked neat, but yeah, I think it was very much kind of based around a similar idea of this, where like you're in like dog fights except you have dragons. Oh, this reminds me of the PlayStation game with the red-haired girl who has like a cursed weapon that like is eating her. It was one of like the first games that was ever released with a PS3. God damn. Whew. Nostalgia away. or Super says, yeah, it looks really cool, but I've never played it. Oh shit. Raid says, didn't expect stream to be. It's still going. Me neither, Raid. We're winding down. We're done. I have to go edit, and I wanted to try to email somebody. There's also a new video. It's kind of okay. It's a video that I recently, I'm not gonna say, I just did some stuff, but there's a video about us using dagger bending, which is the ultimate elemental bending thing. Check that out if you so desire. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you kindly for your time. Hopefully you'll enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope I can see you on Thursday. I don't know. I hope my PC parts come in by then. Hopefully. And yes. So, yes. Also, expect some videos coming down the pipeline as well. Thank you kindly for your time. Hopefully I'll see you again. And goodbye, my friends. We should raid people, but we're not. Because I've already said all the byes. Shit. Before we go, says Lone, we end a wonderful video this week. I enjoyed. Thank you, Lone. I appreciate it. Very sweet. Very sweet. Hopefully the next batch will be better.